You're on. Sir?
Ring, 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 herald, praise and welcome back to Krown's Magical Cave.
Well. Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. It is a glorious day, and holy fucking moly. Hey, it's not Scott Barney. You got beaten out by Mr. BK today. Oh my lord. It is a very fast Monday, and we have so much to talk about today because so much has happened over the weekend, and CME opened up back once again, so we do have plenty to prepare for on this lovely week. Now, I want to say a massive welcome to all the new people here, especially from Jason Pizzino's channel. Hopefully I'm saying that properly. The old Italian right there. Maybe not so sold, but more importantly, you're more than welcome here though. And as Mr. Jason did give you a warning, hey, this channel is a little bit, well, how do I explain this? Well, it might not be for everyone, perhaps. It's very friendly. But as always, there is never any negative intent, and unless if we do see a shitty chart, because shitty charts are shitty charts after all. But at the end of the day, please do understand that, well, things are a little bit, sometimes a bit different over here. Anyways, of course, you're more than welcome, but I do feel compelled to give you a warning on top of that. And now let's get into the Krown Chain application, which you found at app.krown.net. And what do we see that is new today? As we do see pretty much everything's actually the same on the top end dashboard. We do see the highest read in the fear and greed index, however, at about a 74, which is quite literally in the greedy zone now. So this is the first real stint into the greedy zone that we have seen in the past, I believe, 4 to 5 months. We can actually go and reference this in chart format. Bitcoin dominance also holding the low, so I still do look at this as a higher low, and I still do look at this as very likely to head on into the 50% region, perhaps over the next 3 to 4 months. But this is still looking more or less good, and I actually do look at that as a good thing for Bitcoin and the market in general, because you do expect Bitcoin and some of the majors to lead the rallies. That is, well, more or less healthy. When you start to see the garbage and junk rally, usually not a good thing. Anyways, into the market data tab we go. A few things of interest right here, right now, that we have not seen over the weekend. Of course, global leverage ratio and both that and Bitcoin reserves on exchanges are still doing the same thing. So we don't really have anything major to update right there. But open interest did come down a little bit. But more importantly, we are within an uptrend on top of that, and that is supporting current price action. So I do look at that as still overall good in this rally is, very much real. On top of that, the global funding rate is still actually below parity, at least in the way that I look at things, at about 0.009%. So not really any major considerations right there. It really needs to be about 10 times that for me to be a little bit more concerned. Anyways, I actually do think it would be a good time to go check in on the fear and greed index chart format over here. Yeah, you can see that we actually have popped up to what we saw on May 9th, funnily enough. Now, I don't think that you can do actual analysis on the fear and greed index, but just it as a stock number is rather interesting. And yeah, we are in the greedy zone for the first time in that's like 4 months. So let me count them out right now. So June, July, August, yeah, about 3 months actually. So then quite some time. We've accumulated enough fear, and now we can go distribute into some greed, as that does work out. No, just having a bit of a joke right there. More importantly, Bitcoin dominance, you can see very obviously we are still within the context of an uptrend right here, and that I do look at it as a higher low first and foremost. So with all of that said, I did release a rather long video yesterday, about a 40-minute long video that was essentially claiming that the low is in. A bit of a clickbait thing right there, but I kind of presented my best case analysis for the macro low being in. However, just because the macro low might be in, and actually there's a pretty damn strong case that it is, in fact, I do believe that it is myself, that does not mean that Bitcoin can't come back down below even $40,000, even into the mid to low $30,000 territory over the next month and a half. This is still going to take some time. And what do we have that's more important than that? What supersedes everything else that we've spoken about up until this day? The moons, baby! The moons fucking told me once again. And holy shit, we have a bare moon going on right now as of yesterday. And, well, funnily enough, this has been... this has been pretty fucking accurate for the last year that you can go back into the data over here. Anyways, you can see that we got the bull moon over here, we get the bear moon over here, and the witches are saying down is the direction right now. Now, I don't necessarily think that this is down immediately. In fact, actually in short-term timeframes, I do think Bitcoin's going to tag back up to our $45,000 target. You can kind of already look at that as hit from this weekend's price action, and I wouldn't be surprised by another stab back up, maybe even a little bit above there. But overall, I do expect that we will see a pullback perhaps coming into the later part of this month. I think we're in the second week now. Yeah, we are in the second week. So perhaps over the next few weeks, we do see that pullback, but I would expect Bitcoin to kind of grind the highs first, and then we do see a little bit more. What's up, Buried Alive? What's up, Goofy Dude? What's up, Brian Davis? Oh man, I see everyone here right now. This is beautiful. And there he is, the legend LEZs. All right, so let's go to the short-term timeframes over here. As always, on Monday, one of the big things that I only pay attention to is only CME charts. I do not care about what spot is doing. Because a lot of the time when you look at indicators for CME after the non-trading of the weekend, they seem to operate better. In fact, I've done a little bit of a study on it, and I believe they are more right more often than not on a Monday. But I don't, just for Monday. After that, they kind of come, they fall back into line. But I do need to do another study on that, because realistically, I mean, it's not a humongous difference actually, funnily enough. Anyway, so what have we done thus far? So we did say over the weekend, Bitcoin very likely to pull back somewhere around to where CME did close on Friday. That was about $43,000 right here. We've seen that is gap filled, and we actually spoke about that on Jason's channel yesterday as well. And this is the kind of gap that I'd be looking to get filled and then very likely pop back up. And of course, CME not trading over the weekend means that CME did actually not test at around our $45,000 target. So technically speaking, I would be looking for Bitcoin to stab somewhere around there, probably in the, in the early part of this week. And then if we want to play out a pullback, that would be a lovely area to do such from. Anyways, on top of that, we do see short-term time frame momentum oscillators like Stokes are actually in a good, a good positioning here to continue on with the overall uptrend. $44,000 will twist hourly Stokes back onto the upside. They've actually been pretty damn accurate this whole rally, funnily enough, getting a lot of the major moves, which, you always feel a little bit, it's kind of like a guilty pleasure when you find something like that. It works for a little bit and then it doesn't, but when it does work, hey, those are the times to pay attention, obviously. Anyways, that's the hourly. Buy hourly is going to be 44,300. 3 hour is going to be showing at 44,150, and 4 hour is going to be showing about 43,350. So those are all kind of in a positioning to continue on with the short-term momentum to the upside. However, as you can see, all of these are very, very high right now. That's not a complete, signal to say that it's definitely going to come down like this moment, but it is going to be more and more difficult to keep the momentum up. So I do suspect that the next upside move very likely does get rejected. That could be anywhere between about 45,000 to 47, 48,000 bucks. I don't really want to make a call on to where I think that'll happen because there's no way to fucking know. Anywhere around this gap that we do see from 14th to 17th of May, actually, which is in line with it, or in between the 0.5 and the 618 Fibonacci retracement on a bearish retracement from our prior time high to our current low of this, of this current segment of the market cycle. So with all of that said, kind of fitting everything in, I do want to go back into the hash ribbon signal because we have been following up on this quite a fair amount, and I do want to, I don't want to go through all of the rigmarole of it, but I do want to show you kind of what we have seen in the past with this very briefly here, because every time that we do see a blue buy signal on this indicator, of which we have gotten it on both confirmed, by the way, both confirmed on default settings and also the more aggressive settings that I was using over here, that typically does test within about 5% of the prior daily low, actually. So you can see this rally over here, right below about 20,000 bucks when Bitcoin was consolidated about a year ago in November. Bitcoin did get the blue buy signal and did come back down, yes, and it did come back down very close actually to its prior low, but did not break it. More importantly, actually, Elsa's scrambling to get in the back over there, answering a phone call right now. Actually, I should not do it like that. We should do it like this. There we go. About 10% actually on this one. So very, very close. I do want to do a few more, just kind of give you an idea. Even though these don't look like all that much, they are pretty damn close anyways. This one also given a blue buy signal over here. And while Bitcoin did come back down around the prior daily low, which would be right around here at about 89 to 9,000 bucks, did not break it, obviously. And let's just see what that would look like. This one more about 3%. Depending upon where I kind of take it from on a closing basis or a wick basis, but 3 to 5% I would say on that one. We can do another one over here. I don't want to go through all like 16 or 17 of these because it's just going to take too damn long. And I can just start to suggest that maybe you watch the long-term analysis video that I put out on yesterday because it is still very much relevant. And this analysis is going to play a lot into it. But I want to really be focusing on the short and medium-term timeframes right now because that is where the fun's being had. Anyways, this one over here, again, same. This one actually did not really test anywhere around that prior low in this case. This was just continuation right after the signal. So fair enough, that can happen as well. It's not a destined signal. This one over here, very similar to this would be the 1 hour. However, that did not work out too damn well. So we'll just do one more over here. Let's just do one more. And yes, this would be it over here. Again, blue buy signal printed on the 10th of January in 2019 after the $3,100 low was put in. Bitcoin does spend another month coming back down around that low, about 7.5% in fact, but does not break it. So again, if we were to just kind of play around with numbers here and shave off from that blue buy signal where that could be, well, that could be anywhere, I believe, in the mid to low $30,000 territory. Of course, we all do see this area over here on CME chart is our last major gap to the downside. Of course, we do have one to the upside as well. That one I suspect will get filled first. And then at some point, very likely Bitcoin does come back down around here. Anywhere around there would be fair game between about 33 to 35,000 bucks, with stops along the way, very likely as well. And this probably takes, a month to a month and a half. So I don't think that this is going to be just, all roses from exactly here. I mean, there's several things coming in within this region, as we did already suggest. That is your 618 Fibonacci retracement on a bearish retracement, and also we're kind of actually stuck at the 0.5 right here too. On top of that, if we do go to spot price action, this is actually not present on CME. This is present on spot price action because this is a higher term time frame. Doesn't really, it's not like a big deal. If we were going to go over the earlier conversation with only looking at CME on Monday, this is a daily right here, and this is pretty steady. And we do see that the 200 simple, is right around where? Right around about 45,000 bucks, and actually rising too. So overall, very, 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 very likely, I do suspect that 45 to 48 or 49,000 bucks kind of fraught with peril. How long can Bitcoin spend around there spiking it? Don't fucking know, but probably over this next, probably over the next 3 to 4 weeks, I would be looking for a rejection somewhere around there, kind of grind it out and then come back down, go for the weekly high or low. And that's really when I believe that, it's probably going to be risk on for perhaps a long term, or at least that's where I'd be looking at a major edge for that. Of course, everything is, non-zero probability of failure, and both failure and success, of course. So at the end of the day, could we be in the first iteration where this has not held true ever? Well, no, actually, because we've already had that in coronavirus dumb times, but still it does have about a 15 out of 16 iterations of working out in that direction. So that is well above 90%, obviously. And I would expect that, I would expect that we probably get something relatively similar, barring any sort of black swan event. Could we get a black swan event? Yes, absolutely. It does have a non-zero probability of happening as well. But overall, if I were to guess about what's going to happen, it'd be something like this, where we do see, where's my damn brush? Need to get my little painting tool out right there. I'd be looking for something like this. Put on my drawing tools once again, and let's actually get this whole area filled out right here. Probably looking for something similar to this, where we pop up, come into the gap, maybe grind this area out for a little bit of time, maybe even take like a week and a half there, and then probably come back down, maybe put in a higher low at 39,000 bucks or 33 to 35,000 bucks down around here, and then swing back around. And it probably takes some time. I don't think that this is happening like all within the snap of a, Nicholas Martin's fingers right there. I think that it will take some time, and realistically, whether you're bullish or bearish, this market is still going to absolutely, absolutely fuck the most amount of people possible, which is the purpose of markets, of course. And how do you do that? You make them wait. And for all the people who are looking for the moonshot or doom shot, well, realistically, it's still going to be a trader's market. I do expect for a little bit longer until we kind of really confirm a higher low on the weekly. I do expect, but for right now, things do look good. I actually do believe that the low is in, but just kind of have to fit this into different sort of time frame analyses, if you will. So short-term time frames, again, I do expect they will have a little bit of short-term continuation to the upside. And then I would be looking for rejections anywhere between about 45 to 49,000 bucks over the next week and a half. And then Bitcoin very likely does make its way back on down. The only way that I do look at this as likely to just kind of shoot everything off to the side and green dildo its way, rocket emoji times back onto the prior time high, and perhaps even beyond to targets of 80,000 bucks. Credit to Mr. Fiboswani on that one, because that one's actually rather interesting. Would be is if Bitcoin does close a daily dildo back above about 50,000 bucks, or preferably a weekly. I mean, any higher time frame above that would look pretty damn good. Then at that point, yeah, Bitcoin still probably has some pullbacks and whatnot along the way, but I do not believe that Bitcoin would go back down below whatever our swing low here is, which is about 38,000 bucks. So let's go into the lower term time frames now and kind of come up with some ranges, because of course, at the end of the day, this can be very, very much wrong, even though I do suspect that short-term time frames are looking decent and poised here for another try higher. I would be looking essentially at our breakout of Friday on 5th of it's actually 6th of August right here, as a bit of a basing point, meaning that if Bitcoin does come back down, 41,000 bucks is an obvious bounce area. I don't think that this is going to come back down below 40,000 bucks or even 41,000 bucks this week. In fact, if we look at the weekly right here, I think it's rather telling, if you will. I think it's rather telling. What do we see right here? We see Bitcoin didn't just get its first opening closure above the yellow 21 exponential average. It now has a positive slope as well. And so we have that meme officially working for us. This was a little bit questionable yesterday. Now it's fully confirmed. So we have yet again another thing kind of, setting up for the more long term here. And of course, as you can see throughout the dawn of time, Bitcoin has, played off that meme quite well. We do see that anytime that Bitcoin's been above the yellow 21, with it also having a positive slope on an open and close basis, that has been your bull markets for, typically years at a time, actually going all the way back to 2010 over here, going all the way back to 2012 over here, 2014, 2015 over here. And then of course, more recently in 2021, regained it in about 2020. So told you to get long way the fuck back on over here at about 8,000 bucks. And well, the rest is history, of course. So things are looking good. And then of course, if we do go to the higher term time frame, you can see that weekly momentum is actually going to be very much poised to the north side. As long as we're above 31,400, on the next closure, it will remain with some upside posturing here, coming in from a very, very low level. That's actually CME. Spot price action should be a little bit higher than that. Indeed, it is about 32,000 bucks and some odd change. Realistically, that's about the same price for all that I care. And also, it should be known that weekly is well above all major moving averages on our super guppy right here. I have slightly different settings with this. You can see them if you want. It's not going to be anything too crazily different than what the default is, but there you go if you so desire. Got all the ones that I want right there. And realistically, anytime that we have been trending above all of these, it has been, well, you can see rocket emoji times once again. Let's go to the Genesis chart. There we go. That one's actually a little bit more easy to read, and of course that's alongside weekly momentum also is turning in the same direction. So I do quite like this setup, but at the end of the day, I do expect that markets will kind of take their time. And do we have anything to update on over here? Oh, that's right. Yes. Where is my weekly accumulation distribution indicator right now? Yeah, it did remain with a very, very positive slope, so looking good right there. Of course, it also should be known that the monthly is still pretty much wrecked right there. So that's kind of my counterpoint to that. But if you do remember from last month to this month, that means June to July closure, it was actually down the whole month, and about the last few days of the month we actually did see it get a positive slope. So that would probably imply like the extremely bullish resolution of this, meaning that Bitcoin closed above $50,000 on a daily, and then we don't really see any like major pullback below $40,000. Definitely possible, but that would be the only way I believe that you can kind of get that one back up there. Of course, that is highly variable because a lot of things can change around into the end of the month, but that would be my sort of interpretation of that as it is right now. Anyways, okay, so we've looked at all of that. We've spoken your head off thus far. Is there anything else that I want to get into? I suppose that we should kind of mark off some areas of, of obvious failure here to the downside. Again, $41,000 would be my area for that. Below there, which I don't think that this is going to happen this week. In fact, like I said, I do think short-term timeframes are very likely to test back up to about 45,000, maybe even a little bit higher than that, very likely early within this week. But ultimately, if Bitcoin were to come back down to $41,000, I would look at that as a base as first and foremost. However, if this idea is going to be destroyed, I would be looking at a 4-hour confirmation below $41,000 on a closing basis, that is. And then, yes, I would be looking for Bitcoin to come back down and retest that $38,000 base, probably bounce there, and then we'll probably fail that bounce. I don't think that's what's happening here, but that would be my conditions for failure on this, as you always need to have. Anyways, for right now on CME specifically, is my fucking hair is in my eyes right now. It's really annoying, actually. It makes it very difficult to see, in fact, when you're staring at all of these magic internet money dildos in your face. Anyways, looking at 4-hour BBWP, our volatility indicator, it is still rising to the heavens, and we do see that it's actually at about a 90% or just under 90 percentile right now. So I would be looking for the culmination of this rally, very likely to happen somewhere in the deep 90s actually. So we're getting very, very close. We are getting very, very close on CME specifically, but it's not there just yet. I'm curious what the hourly looks like right here. And yes, what do you know? We do see that volatility comes down alongside price action, putting in a bit of a higher low. I do like that. Can Bitcoin chop around here a little bit in the short-term timeframes? Yes, absolutely. But I don't really see anything of of too much interest right here. In fact, the only way that I'd even be looking for a short-term downside move on the lower-term timeframes is if we came back down and took out the spike low thus far on today's daily, which is 42,890 actually, the gap fill right there. Of course, coming back down to fill your gap is usually not a good sign. Twice, of course, you don't get 2 tries for that sort of a trade. The easy one is the first one. You've already got that one. If it happens again, I'd probably be looking for Bitcoin to actually come all the way back down to $41,000 and try for a bounce there, and then I still would be looking for Bitcoin to actually try again higher. Overall, $41,000, big area now for the short and medium term timeframes. And as long as above there, I have a generally upside bias towards the next major area, as to which I probably would be looking for a grind and then a pullback over the next week to 2 weeks after that. Anyways, is there anything else that I want to get into right here? Oh, it also should be known on CME, while the daily jewel is actually getting pretty up there, pretty aggressive, it is actually getting a fresh long signal once again. So this would be a continuation halt to your long signal. I'm not saying that this is going to be a crazy one right here, but we do see that it is supported with all the other momentum oscillators, and more importantly, we do see that the autofib is on the same side as well. Yes, it is getting way up there, and I would be very cautious within this region right here, but that also kind of suggests that we probably do test a little bit higher before potentially putting in a bit of a medium term high and then trying lower once again. Anyways, looking at daily RSI, looking good, back in the bullish control zone for the first time since April, looking very, very good there actually. I'm curious what the weekly looks like. Yeah, weekly did maintain above the exponential right here. I would be looking for it to chop around a little bit, but this is to be confirmed as a rejection of the bearish control zone. So that is very powerful in and of its own self. So all of this, I do quite like. I think the 5 days a little bit more obvious right here actually, and this one's looking a little bit more. This one's looking really fucking good actually. Again, this is why I do think that the top side gap gets filled first before anything else happens, and then we can come back maybe a little bit later this week or next week and see where the probability possibilities lie. But for right now, pretty damn good, for upside continuation. I'm curious what the 12 hour looks like on CME as well. Yeah, we're right at the 200 simple, so a little bit of a natural resistance right there in line with your May 18th breakdown. So I would be looking at this as a bit of a short-term pivot actually, and where is that? About 44, about $45,000 actually. So nothing too crazy right there. Anyways, what else do we want to do? Should I show my testnet positions? Yes. Okay. So for anyone new here, this is a testnet account. This is not real money. I'm an American citizen. I can't legally trade on Deribit, of course. Anyways, I have been trading options over here because that's my former life, and they are quite nice. And I can just show my positions really, really quickly right here. You're actually gonna laugh once I show you the P&L on these positions because it is actually hilarious here, as you can just kind of see that these options are so poorly priced. But for right now, I am long the $36,000 call strike. Actually started this off with I think I bought the straddle or maybe like a very bizarre strangle, a very shallow strangle between the 36 and 32 $2,000 strike. Anyways, I got rid of the put side. And then I basically I basically shorted all of the strangles below 24,000 all the way up, and everything above $80,000 right here. And I've been taking profit on those, as we go up. And actually, I put on another 15 lot on this $80,000 call strike right here, and that one's running me a humongous negative P&L last I checked. Yeah, right around here, negative 3.3 Bitcoin. Now, what are these actually worth? These are worth nothing right now. In order for them to even be worth anything, Bitcoin needs to go above $80,000. I think I sold these for about I sold them for around 1,000. Yeah, I think I sold so Bitcoin would have to go above $81,000 before September 24th in order for me to actually lose on those positions. And then more importantly, I could just cover those anyways because I'm already long a $36,000 call strike anyway, so maybe that turns into a spread, which would be hilarious. And then of course I'm also long some spot actually over here as well. I think I'm long. Yep, I'm long about 4 Bitcoin now. That's been steadily going down as the size remains the same, and running about a Bitcoin and a quarter profit right there, which I don't really have any plans to let go of. Just been using I've basically just been using covered calls in order to kind of slowly take profit on that on the way up. Anyways, with that said, I think it's time to get into the comments now. I've spoken your head off, which hopefully I haven't bored you too much. And let's go over here. I'll turn on the alerts and let's see what else has got for me. I think she is at her desk and she is ready. Is she waving? I don't know, but let's see what she got over here. Holy shit. Okay. Wow. That's a lot, sir. Oh man, it's a busy day today. All right. You're welcome. Thank you, sir. BK says, sir, please GHST BUSD on Binance. Yeah, let's check out what this one's doing. This one had a really good last couple weeks now, didn't it? Yeah, I do remember this one. Let's see where it is right now, and actually losing its luster a little bit. So have we lost a short-term time frame uptrend? Yes, we have. I would be looking for this one to come back down, spike somewhere around about 165 or so, and I would be looking for a bounce there. Still not necessarily bearish on a daily. In fact, any sort of a higher low above that 165 area, which I do expect that you will put in, it will come alongside hidden bullish evidence. You can see RSI is making a significantly lower low right here. But this is, for all that it's worth, not anything that, this is, I don't know if it's a shitcoin or not. It has a pretty damn good chart, all things considered, but I'm always very skeptical when I see an altcoin here. So that is assuming that we actually do put in a higher low right here. If that fails, then, well, you can look for this whole rally to get very likely wrecked all the way down to about 140 or so. But for right now, I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. Again, short-term downside, very likely a higher low gets printed right there and then pops back up around that 190 high. Let's see how the weekly closed. Weekly closed as a bit of a rejection right there. But this is crypto after all, so I wouldn't be surprised if we actually do just go for the backfill and then back up and gets where the backfill is, 170 of fucking course. So with that said, short term, a little bit of downside. I would be looking for it to try for a higher low right here. It looks sloppy, but I think that's just the way that altcoins typically look. And this one, again, for all that it's worth, we do see that this correction is coming in on declining volatility. So that does suggest that this is probably going to be another another consolidation with, well, I would assume probably another higher low within there. Again, the areas to be aware of are very, 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 very in your face, so not too much to be doing right there. And there he is, Scott Barney. Oh shit, XELA daily, guys. Next GameStop is here. Squeeze coming. Oh sir, I gotta I have to aware you, man, there will very unlikely be another GameStop anytime soon. Like the whole GameStop setup, you have to understand, took like about 2 years to really come about. So I actually spoke with Jamie from Wall Street Bets. I actually went on to a podcast on their Telegram group with him, and I spoke with him about this. And it's very interesting. He did a lot of research into that, and there's a lot of like stars aligning type of things that had to happen for that GameStop move to happen. Realistically, it's very unlikely to find anything like that anytime soon in like the foreseeable future, and he'll even tell you that himself. But if you are looking for this thing right now, it actually is okay. I mean, it is an uptrend on a daily, but let's get the full view of this, and it looks like an absolute shitcoin, sir. Why do you choose the shittiest of all time charts? I don't understand that. I just don't get it. Again, I want you to next time you leave a comment, I'm not trying to chastise you. I'm just curious, why choose something like this when you could choose almost anything else in the stock market? Well, especially if they're taxed, maybe not anything else in the stock market, and they pretty much only go up. You don't need to play a piece of shit like this, man. But fair enough. And here's a real chart on linear scale, not log. Look, I'd actually still be looking for this one to go up. It does have some upside right here. I wouldn't be surprised to see it tag up to like $4 over the next couple months here. This is yet again another higher low. Daily is very, very good. But I just don't understand the obsession with something like this. But hey, maybe it's something that it's perhaps something that I'm not seeing. In fact, I'm sure that it's not something that I'm not seeing, because I'm certainly not seeing it right here long term. Things could get crazy, of course, up to $8 long term if this thing actually is going through a massive change of behavior. But whenever I see junk shit like this rallying, it's usually a sign that the overall rally, the macro rally, the broad market is probably coming to a conclusion. I do suspect that we actually will see a pretty damn big pullback. We'll probably see like a 20% correction, I suspect, before. Are we wrecked? Nope. Elsa's just talking to her dog right there. I do suspect that it'll probably happen sometime, November, December, if I had to guess. But this thing right here, yeah, it actually does have some upside, and actually pretty damn good. At least for the short and medium term. All right, there it is. Jack Assyman, what's up, man? All right, could you please check out Ethereum, Bitcoin at short and medium term? Alrighty, never long term, although you already know that I love the long term. Look, the weekly close fucking phenomenal, man. I do expect that you'll probably see a pullback down to 6.6 million Satoshis, but that is a very obvious bounce area and very likely continuation. Daily, looking good for a bit of a pullback right here. Do we have regular bearish divergence? No, we do not. But I would suspect any sort of move between about 6.55 and 6.6 million Satoshis would be that sort of higher low that you'd be looking for. This one's had its change of behavior. Again, long term, have we seen the resolution of this falling channel? I do suspect. I don't like that it's actually coming back down to retest it twice now. This is typically not a good sign, but I give it the benefit of the doubt, all because of the higher term timeframes. If you're specifically asking about the short term timeframes, we can definitely do that. Short term is down. I would be looking for, again, about 6.6 million Satoshis, and probably bounce there, try for a higher low, and then continue on with the weekly rally perhaps later on into this month. Again, I really want to focus on this right here. I really like this chart long term. But that does imply, you're going to be waiting like four to 6 months at minimum. I mean, I do like this a lot, but yeah, short term very likely does come down. The only way that I really get bearish on this thing is if it came back down below like 6.25 million Satoshis. Until then, it's all higher lows to me on various different time frames. And but yeah, short term is down as it does put in hopefully another higher low right here. Perhaps even some hidden bullish divergence along the way would be pretty damn good as well. Anyways, with that said, we'll move on to the next one over here. Let's see what we got. We got Mr. Legend Ali Z's silver daily weekly RIP. Yeah, I saw gold had a pretty nasty move as I woke up. This is why I would absolutely fucking hate to trade it. Anyways, look at it right here. Silver. Wait, this thing is not trading right now. No, we should probably look at silver futures, if anything, which I actually don't know the ticker for. But if you're specifically asking about the daily and weekly on this one, technically speaking, you still got higher lows on the weekly right here. But is it going to lose formation alongside gold? Very likely, yes. At least short term, I would be looking for a move down to about 21.5, 2160-ish region. Very likely a bounce there. Come back to it after that. I would still kind of refrain from making any long-term calls on this because the month still has a long ways to go here, and overall, I mean, the 21 is a kind of natural basing point. Anyways, you are in an uptrend on the monthly as long as you're above that in this case. So I would give it the benefit of the doubt, but I want to see where this one would open up today. I would completely let go of that idea with the same sort of criteria as before. The last one we spoke about this, which I remember actually very specifically, which would be anywhere below your 2nd of November low right here, which is $20 and 60 cents. Below there, yep, all bets are off. I'd be looking for this one to come all the way down to $19, probably try for a bounce there, and then fail the whole rally and just go fuck yourself with the silver and gold crew. Actually, the quarterly is not looking too hot here either. So, what's going on here? Well, I suppose they didn't really like the talks about raising those interest rates, huh? But you never know when the Fed, if the Fed's like actually going to follow through on what they do. In fact, a lot of people have already kind of speculated that they're going to, that they're kind of calling their bluff. But realistically, yeah, I would be looking for a little bit of short-term down, very likely bounce around that region and then come back to it after that. Daily is obviously down. Yes, weekly, same thing. So I would be looking for a test down around, what was it, the monthly, around $21.5. Very likely bounce there, come back to it after that, probably later this month, and see where we do hold up at. If we do pop back above about $23 by end of month on a closing basis, that would look pretty damn good to me. But for right now, it is pressure on, of course. Anyways, I think that is what you're looking for right there. I wouldn't say rip just yet, but if you are on a daily, yes, down. Yes, I would say very obviously down to that level, and then look for the reaction. King Cosmic says, hi, can we please look at traditionals 1 hour and daily? Okay, traditionals to me means Nasdaq and SPY, the two biggest ones. What do we have right here on the weekly? Weekly still looks good. We had a little bit of a backfill in last week open. Could come down a little bit more towards 14,950 or so. But overall, I do look at that as an obvious basing point. And even on the lower term timeframes right here, are we just putting in a higher low? It looks like so. Sir, are you okay? You okay over there? Elsa's having a good time right now. Anyways, 4 hour right here. If you are talking about the lower term timeframes, which, oh no, you asked about an hourly. Let's go see what the hourly is looking like. Short term timeframes looks to me like a higher low right here. I wouldn't be surprised if it does grind out, like I said, a little bit lower than the current low. Somewhere around 14,950 is all fair game. That is still higher lows on daily, weekly. But I am still not going to hate a chart that looks like this. Weekly RSI still telling the story on this one. I like this consolidation right here. It's typically going to be a good thing. And while I do understand that this chart looks absolutely ridiculous, and believe me, I do think that this chart looks absolutely ridiculous. We will have a 20% correction, I believe, maybe even a little bit more than that. And like I said, probably around end of year. I don't think that the highs are in just yet. I think this one still has some more melt ups to go, but we are really starting to enter into like the last phases of this parabolic advance. This is like very, 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 very impressive. I mean, this has been going on for what, realistically, since just straight up since 2020. That is just ridiculous. That is just fucking ridiculous, man. That is fucking ridiculous, actually. Let's see what SPY futures look like. Let's see what the daily looks like right here. Yep, close on new highs on Friday. I'd be looking at that. I'd be looking at this as very likely to continue on with a little bit new highs this week. Do you have any targets for this? Short term's actually down on SPY. I'd probably be looking for a move down somewhere around like low 4,400 or so, but very likely another bounce right there. Hourly, fine. I don't have any major issues with this, so I would still be looking for the long-term upside targets to be hit. Could still take a couple months here, but 45.30 still within visual view, and then long-term. I mean, if this thing were to go to like 48.50 or $5,000 around end of year, that'd be crazy. That'd be a very obvious area to be looking for, at the very least, a 10 to 20% correction, in my opinion. Same thing with NAS features over here too. 15,500 to 15.8 is kind of like the long-term area they'd be looking at. Around there. Imagine things look even more extended than now. That's ridiculous. Holy shit. But yeah, still would be macro bullish on those ones. Short-term timeframes, a little bit of an ebb and flow. Short-term, a little bit of down, but I would be looking for a higher low first and foremost. Kind of wrap up my thoughts on that one. Sam Fergazzi, what's up, man? Let's take a look at gold on the daily, shall we? Oh, we shall, my friend. We shall indeed. Where's my good old gold piece of shit rocks over here? Where are they? Where are they? I know you're on these charts. I know you're here somewhere. There you are. Found it. 1745. Yeah, this is kind of what I'm talking about on silver, though. We had this massive dump, right? But the problem is that when it's not a problem, but this is kind of what I'd be expecting on silver first and foremost, right? When you see a big wick like this, when people rush in to buy almost immediately after retesting your prior lows, it's kind of like calling the Fed's bluff, in my opinion. I do think that this one probably does base out here. If you look at the higher term timeframes like the monthly, I still don't hate this chart. Now, I know that perhaps it was even you, so credit to you, Sam, if this was you in the Discord, pointed out that the monthly looks insanely similar, just from like a fractal base, which I'm not a humongous fan of, but technically it does. It looks very, very similar to our last major high, or gold's last major high from 2011 to 2012 over here. And yes, I would agree with that. So if that is going to hold true, we'd expect actually this month to fall down and close below 17. Where is that? 1730 or so. If that were to happen, then yeah, I would be looking for this to enter into another long-term downtrend. But for right now, I actually would not say the short term is actually all that bad, because when you do see a big wick like this, it's very likely to pop back up at the very least, which is what we're seeing right now. Short term, I'd actually be looking for 1750. Sir, are you okay over there? Else is having a very tough time right now. You guys are making her work. Oh, baby, work for those fucking nanos, you lazy beezy. Anyways, yeah, you like that, don't you? Anyways, yeah, short term, I'd actually be looking for this bounce to carry on back up towards like 1755 to 1760-ish region. And then I want to see where the daily closes. I mean, this is like, it looks bad right now, but it's a long day left to trade. And the initial reaction kind of tells me, you might not want to front run any sort of like a major downfall just yet. To put it bluntly, I just don't hate this right now with that sort of reaction. I really want to see where this one opens up when traditional markets open up. And when I speak about traditional markets, I mean U.S. Open, basically. I know that I'm American, and that sounds very egotistical, for my country, but it does typically lead the world in these sort of prices here. And you can obviously test that out yourself as well. But yeah, man, for right now, I actually think that you've seen the lows for now. And that was actually an opportunity, at the very least, for a very, 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 very lovely scalp bounce off your prior low. All right, cool. What else do we have over here? Dan K says, my default settings, hash ribbons, no blue buy signal. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you contradict what I've said before? No, just kidding, man. Is there a blue buy signal? Well, it depends which one you're using. I'm using the ones from the man himself. Charles Edwards is actually his name. Apologies because I got that wrong yesterday. He is the founder, however, of Caprioli Investments. So that would be this one over here, which you can find for yourself. And apparently now everyone's talking about the goddamn hash ribbons. This one right here, man, by Caprioli chart. This is the guy who actually, created it to begin with. So I'm going to go with his over anything else. I know that there's a few other ones on here, of which we even have Mr. Bitcoin Beats in the chat, I believe, or maybe he's not here today. I don't know. But if he is, Mr. Hamilton, show yourself. I fucking love that guy. He's great. He's made his own as well, but this is the one that I go with just because it comes straight from the source, and when it comes to these sort of more obscure signals, when they're kind of in their infancy, I want to see how it was by default, and we do very specifically have it right there, and also right here as well. In fact, if I do go with default, let's just see, 30, 60. Yeah, there you go. Still have the buy signal right there. So there you go, my friend. There you go. Although I will keep on the more aggressive settings just to kind of follow up over time, as these were good enough for me to care about, at least when we did the historical interpretation of them. Alrighty, cool. Let's see what else we have over here. Mr. Amir says, bull trap idea at $46,000 still valid for you? Yeah, absolutely. It is still valid for me. I mean, thus far, if you are just going off a spot, which I don't think is wise, I do think that you need to be going, I do think that, what's it called? CME is the one to be going off of right now. We already have seen a bit of a bit of a pullback from the $45,300 tick that we saw over the weekend. Right now, it doesn't look like much on the scale right here, but this is, for what it's worth, a 5.5-6% pullback. Now, I would probably be expecting more on top of that, but I fear that people mishear when I say bull trap, because bull trap implies Bitcoin's going to go back down and make new lows below our 30,000 or 29,000 and some odd change low on a daily closing basis. I would not say that, at least on first pass. I would give the bulls the edge there, saying that if it is going to bull trap, it very likely does try for a higher low on higher term timeframes first, somewhere in the mid to low $30,000 territory. So I do believe that the low is in my criteria for that. My criteria for not saying that the low is in on the other side would be as if Bitcoin does close a daily below about really realistically like $32,000. I was saying 31,500 yesterday. More or less the same thing. I mean, $500 difference on a $30,000 number is not going to account for a whole hell of a lot. But yes, somewhere around there would be good enough for me to say, hey, the low is not in. Bitcoin's going to go down to those nastier targets down around $20,000. But until that happens, anything around here is a higher low on a weekly to quite obviously. So that'll look pretty damn good. Anyways, let's see what else we got. Scott Barney says, no one cares about fake money. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. What do you mean my fake money is worthless, Scott? What about your XELAs? What about that, man? Which one is fake? I don't even know which one is fake. Is the dollar fake? The dollar is kind of fake, but at least you can use it to buy other shit. That's good. I still can't use my Bitcoins to buy anything of interest, actually. So It's a very sad day. My goddamn internet corns still don't buy shit. They buy a few things actually now, so it is a little bit of hyperbole right there, and more venues are accepting of cryptocurrencies now than ever, but it's still, you know, pretty low key. I mean, it's pretty fringe still. So yeah, man, I actually agree with you. What's up, Michael Crooks? Hey, Kay, can you check BTU stock 1 hour? It looks toppy. Okay. All right. Just be aware that if we are looking at only an hourly, that is, you know, just an hourly after all. Does this look toppy to me? No. No, not at all. RSI telling the story. Volatility also telling the story as well. This just looks like a continuation to me, and you really need to be looking at the daily right here. No, I don't think it looks toppy at all. If you're looking for like a short-term pullback, perhaps maybe back down just below $12. But would I say that it looks toppy just based off that? No, I wouldn't. Now this chart is a terrible chart long term, no doubt about that. But you're kind of in no man's land right here, and I wouldn't be surprised if you actually see a rally back up to like, you know, 14.5 to $15 before it actually does put in something resembling a top. Long term, yes, I hate this chart, but you do have a volume signature over here that is very indicative of a change of behavior. I know you didn't ask about a daily, but if we're going to be talking about tops, I really can't look at it on like an hourly. That's just going to be relevant towards the short term timeframes. If anything, the hourly is just continuation. There's nothing toppy about this to me right now, except for short term pullbacks. You got higher lows as long as you're above even like what is it, like 11 and 3/4 or so. So I'd be respectful of that first and foremost. Below 11.5, yeah, you know, probably do look a little bit toppy. Do go for a deeper retracement, maybe like 1080 or so. But even that, I mean, I wouldn't call toppy on like a daily. So kind of playing around with fire. And I think daily RSI really telling the story right here, consolidating around the bullish control zone. I really like that signature, especially on declining volatility while price action's in an uptrend and just kind of marching its way up. To me, it's a very constructive setup, and very likely to continue on with the greater rally. So yeah. All right, cool. Nacho Fiat says, Luna, please. Sure, man. Let's see what we got on tunas over here. Got Luna USD right now, and no time frames given, so I don't really know where to go with this one. Yeah, this is kind of what I'd be expecting for like Bitcoin, right? You see a lot of spikes around your May breakdown areas and then come back down, and I do think that you have seen about the highs for right now. I wouldn't say that this is a bearish chart. This is not a bearish chart, but I would be looking for a move down to about 1175. Now, I don't know what time frame you want to be looking at, so let's go to 4 hour as well. Short-term timeframes probably do get another short-term bounce here. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing back around like 14 and a half. That's completely fair game, but ultimately I do believe that the short-term top is in. Not long-term. Actually do kind of like that chart, especially amongst most other shitcoins, as long as you're below about the current high of the rally at about 15 and 35 cents or so. Looking at the weekly right here, I think the weekly chart's really good, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a move down to about 12 and some odd change in order to put in a bit of a higher low there. And I think that was consistent with the daily as well. A little bit lower than that is what I was saying. I think I said 11 and 3/4, anywhere between there and about 12 and a quarter, we'll say, is fair game. And I would be looking for it to kind of grind that area out and put another higher low and then continue on maybe later this month or into September. But yeah, none of the higher term timeframes are in any way, shape, or form bad. So fair enough. This is still pretty damn good. But I do think that you've seen the short term highs for now, so to speak. All right, cool. Let's see what else we got, man. Let's see what else we got. We got Scott Barney. He's back again. ZXELA pump coming. Buy now, thank me later. Okay, well, do you promise refunds? Do you promise? Do you promise? Well, maybe Scott Barney's an insider because, well, maybe he's an insider. But I'm curious, where's your other baby right now? ALYI. I think I did it wrong right there. ALY. All right, Scott. All right, Scott, I trusted you. You said bounce back. What the fuck, Scott? You promised me 11 cents. Now we're at 3 cents. That's an inverted pump. You done fucked me, Scott. Why? I thought we were, but we're not. You bastard. Cairo Man says, if you haven't looked at Ethereum at dollar yet, I really need the 4-hour daily. Let's check it out, Cairo. Let's check it out, sir. We haven't looked at it actually at all. Weekly, love that closure. I know you didn't ask about that, but very powerful closure right there. I would be looking for any sort of downside move to like 2,700 to be putting in a higher low, probably on a daily. Oh, guess where? That's yeah, that'd be about where the 21 is going to come up into like the next couple days here. So I do think that you've hit a bit of a short-term high right here. Yes. For Ethereum, wouldn't be surprised short term if it comes back down to about 2750 or so. I would be looking for a bounce there, more importantly, and probably grinds that area out to put in a bit of a daily low as well. Weekly looks really good to me, and I'm curious what the monthly looks like right here. Yeah, if this monthly closes anywhere above 2750, which is actually that daily target short term, that's going to look incredibly good going into the end of the year. But for right now, yeah, if you're just specifically asking about the 4 hour, short term down, and then I'd be looking for a higher low somewhere right around there. Okay, cool. Let's see what else we got over here. Slytime00 says, hi, mate. What's up, mate? Hello, fam. Could you check out Quant 4 hour and daily cheers? No problem, sir. UNT. This one actually had a pretty damn good chart for an altcoin. I remember last we looked at it, not so much anymore in the short term. It looks like weekly does look like it's putting a bit of a top so far, and I would be looking for the daily to trade down actually a little bit lower than where we're currently at, just below 140 or so, like 139 and a half. Try for a bit of a bounce there and then come back maybe in the maybe later this week and see where it's at. 4 hour, yep, very obviously coming down right now. Let's see. But I would be looking for a nice bounce. Where was that? About 139 and a half. Very likely a nice bounce right there. And then I want to see the result of that probably later this week. If all goes to plan on this. But I felt like we had a more long-term history on this one. Hold on. Let's see what the weekly looks like. Yeah, weekly. Weekly does a little bit toppy. Monthly looks pretty shitty. Monthly looks pretty bad. 3-day looks pretty bad. 5-day looks pretty toppy. Bi-daily looks pretty toppy here. There will be bounces, but short term down anywhere between about I'd even say like 137 to 139 and a half, and then very likely a bounce there and probably grinds it out a bit. I wouldn't be surprised to see it even bounce back up towards like 160, 165 or so. But I do think that the medium term top is in for now. J3F says, Sushi USD on the 1 hour and 4 hour and daily. Have a great day, sirs. You as well, man. All right, Sushi Swamp. Let's see what we got right here. Sushi, hold on. Where is it? There we go. Sushi. Elsa goes, but little do you know, she had a very terrible time with sushi last time that she ate it. As did I when I ate yogurt over this weekend. Holy shit, man. I am never doing that ever again. Jesus Christ. Lactose intolerance is a hell of a drug. Anyways, you are asking about a hourly, hourly 4 hour daily. Okay, daily. A little bit of a short-term top in here. I would be expecting a bounce off of about 885, which we're kind of doing right now. 4 hour probably grinds this area out a little bit more. I'd probably be looking for a short-term move back down around just, maybe just around about $9 or so. Where's the hourly here? Yeah, hourly 200 simple, right around right around $9. So I would be looking for another move back down around there, and very likely does try to bounce off there, maybe a little bit later this week, probably back up towards about $10 or so. I don't really hate, the only way that I really hate this chart, and this would actually be pretty damn bad if this does happen, this would be pretty damn bad, is if you do close anywhere below the 21 in this case. If you do close below, it's currently situated about 871 and a half, it looks like. I would be looking for the whole rally to actually be coughed up, and this thing will come back down extremely likely somewhere around about 6 3/4 to $7. But for right now, I'd give it the benefit of the doubt, give it a chance to put in a higher low right there. But yeah, short term very likely does grind it out once again before this is all said and done. But I'd be respectful of a higher low in that region. All right, cool. Scott Barney says, "Sorry, Krown, using your channel to advertise, sir. What are you trying to do? All right, do you want me to help your advertisements? I can help your advertisements a lot, man. Let's give it a raving review. No, man. Look, I fair enough. People are free to do what they want to do. I can just show you the chart as it is. Yeah, the XALA one probably does go up from there. But I would be very, very I'd be very aware of that thing's status long term as an absolute piece of garbage that you probably don't want to be touching. But yes, can you make money in that? Yeah, you can make money in any fucking piece of garbage. I mean, just look at Doggy Coin. That thing was crazy. But yeah, hopefully that does help you, sir. But to each their own. I'll just leave it right there. Lemon says, good sir. Hello, good sir. Let me front run my question while brushing my teeth. Okay, let's do it. Theta on the 4 hour and daily, bounce or down to the gutter. Okay, let's check out Theta right here. Theta, how do you spell that? Yeah, there we go. All right, that brings it up. Beautiful. And you want to be looking at a 4 hour and a daily. All right, well, we're already on a 4 hour right here. Very similar to a lot of these other charts. This one is going to be a little bit on the relatively weak side, however. The daily is actually what I'd be focusing on right here. You got a rejection of the 200 simple. You're basing off of the 21. This area does need to hold. Otherwise, I would be looking for this rally to be coughed up. And again, I am looking for a rejection in the mid 40s for Bitcoin. I'd like to see CME get there first before I do look for it, across the board. But if this thing does fail below the 21, which is 605 right now, any sort of a daily closure below there is going to be interpreted terribly by this. And I would be looking for this one to come back down to $4.50 to $5 actually before trying for another low. Now I do want to check the weekly. I know you didn't ask about it, but the weekly is pretty damn good here. I wouldn't mind a short-term backfill down to about what is this 575 or so, and then probably bounce, and then probably try another move higher. 4 hour short term, a little bit of sideways, a little bit of downside, but I would be looking for bounces around 605 or so, and that is, I believe, where the 21 is. So I'd give it a chance to bounce from this region, but anywhere below, what was it, 608 on a daily closure, I'd be very fucking bearish. I wouldn't say very fucking bearish, but I'd be looking for it to cough up the majority of this rally back down below $5 actually over time. But for right now, I do think that the market has one more try to the upside, and then if we are going to get rejected, then that's at the point where I'd be very careful, especially on altcoins and just across the board. Of course, there's going to be some good altcoins here and there. There's going to be some outliers, but majority speaking, I'd say that one probably would come down as well. Anyways, Scott Barney says, Elsa, stop pulling Krown's hair during sex wars. We don't do that, you dirty sir. I've been watching. What did we watch last night? We watched this show. Oh my god, we watched this should we talk about this? This is like the weirdest thing. It was called Pray Away, which it really meant pray the gay away. And it was this show about like these people who would go to I guess they were gay, and also like some of them were trans as well, and they would go to like this camp where it would be like a religious thing typically, and they would be basically like trying to pray away their gayness, I guess. Anyways, long story short, it didn't work out for them, and they made a documentary about it. So there you go. Anyways, Jonathan K says, hello sir, what's up, man? If I'm looking to sell 30% of my portfolio and buy back lower, 34 to 35, would I be selling at 45 or waiting until we go past 45 and hover in the 45 to 48 region? Okay, so this is of course not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and at the end of the day, you are responsible for your own decisions, of course. Now, I think I've made my thoughts pretty damn clear on this. I can't do your trades for you, but what I can tell you is that if that is going to happen, I'd be looking for something like this. Maybe grinds this area out a little bit, could get as high as like $49,000 without kind of destroying that idea, and then comes back down somewhere in this pocket between about 35 and 30 and 33 or so. But with that said, there's also a possibility that we see something like this, where it goes boom, and then kind of holds the 5 and just something like that, and then back above $50,000. If you see something like that, then I don't think this market's going to come back down below $40,000 again, or maybe not 40, but at least $41,000, I would say. Let me just double check on these numbers right here. No, actually, I'd say about 41 to $42,000 if that were to happen. I don't think it'd ever come back down below there again. You could see something like that, and then it just comes back down and boom, and there you go, something like that. But overall, this is getting into crystal ball type shit, and that is not real technical analysis. That is not real trading. That is crystal ball bullshit, which is fun to do and works really, really well for Twitter engagement. But it's I don't think that you can truly do that. It's just I would be marking off about what I'd be expecting to see if that is going to hold true, and you're going to see something like that over the long term, over the long period of time. But basically, would I be just directly selling 45? I mean, I would never do. Here's what I can say that maybe you might find valuable or not. I never, ever, 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 ever go all out or all in into anything in one single trade. Like even when I'm trading, just ranges, I'll do things typically in thirds, sometimes in halves, sometimes in fourths, but typically in thirds, where I'll take third profit, and then and also manage risk in that way too, and also manage my entries as well within thirds. So take that as you will, but I've never really found like going all in or all out is a wise idea long term. Especially if you're more a long-term person, which it sounds like you probably are. Anyways, the Legend LAZ says silver futures is SL1. Yeah, let's check it out. Let's check out that one. Okay, here we go. All right, silver. Hey, that's not how you spell silver. It's not how you spell SL. All right, here we go. Okay. Oh, dear Lord. Okay, that looks like garbage. Holy shit, that looks bad. I would be looking for a bounce right here, but it is not having the same response as gold, very, very obviously. This would look a lot more obviously bearish to me. This would look a lot more obviously bearish to me, but yes, I would be looking for a bounce first. But goddamn, man, that one is certainly not getting the same love as gold. And this one, what is, okay, this can't be right. Hold on, this is definitely not right. This fucking Russian exchange, Jesus Christ, what are we doing? What are we doing right now? That is a Russian exchange. Why can't we get... Really? There's only Russian exchange for that? That can't be true. Really? There's only silver future? No, there's got to be a different ticker for like American futures for silver. Because this chart, while it is, you know, while that one is playing a little bit more with gold, you can see very obviously there's like some days where the volume is like nothing here. I mean, shit, man. Like I'm seeing today as like 1 volume equals 1, or no, it's what the fuck? That just does not make sense. Hold on, we must be looking at the wrong thing right there. I'm sure a commodities trader here can aware us, because I've actually never traded straight up commodities. I've only traded ETFs of commodities like GLD, and I've never traded silver ETF for the love of God. Mike Bolano says 1 hour, 4 hour daily on RNDR. Okay, RNDR, Red Dead Redemption is what it looks like. Render token. Okay, sounds cool. I guess we got to go to KuCoin for this. That's a good sign. Actually, not so bad for an altcoin. Not so bad for an altcoin. Not as bad as what I would have been expecting here. Anyways, okay, you're asking for 1 hour, 4 hour daily. Daily is a nice consolidation at a high level. You do have a natural basing point right around about 95 cents. What's 4 hour look like right here? 4 hour looks fine. Actually, this looks pretty damn good for an altcoin. This is probably one of the better charts we've seen today. You got a very obvious consolidation range, but this is a bullish consolidation, and I would be looking for any sort of a resolution above about 115 or so, or sorry, 114 and a half to the upside would imply we probably do get the next breakout, which you got a natural target right around your last major rejective high. Of course, you know, this thing is a shitcoin, so you probably do see spikes up into the wick area right here at about 131 or so, but this actually is pretty damn good for an altcoin. Probably one of the better charts that we have seen. Very, very constructive in the short-term timeframes right here. Nothing bearish about this thing as long as it holds the lows. I think I said 96.5 cent first. I'd actually move that up to about 98.5 right there. As long as you're above there, fine. Probably going to spend some time consolidating here, but long-term, or I wouldn't say long-term, but probably over the next week or two, does try for an upside move. Problem is, if we do see a reductive region in Bitcoin or any of the other majors, does this thing hold up all that well? Probably not, but you know, for what it's worth, it actually has a pretty damn good chart right here. So fair enough. I would give it the benefit of the doubt and say short-term sideways and up does look okay, especially for an altcoin right there. Okay, Scott Barney with the sexual tips today. Here we go. Scott Barney, we are awaiting you in the bedroom, sir. Please join. Oh, Mr. Scott, you're great. You're fucking great, man. J3F says storage USD. Yeah, this is another 2017 shitcoin. I remember this one, I believe. Storage J. Yeah, this one. Okay, let's go to Binance, the best shitcoin carousel exchange for all your shitcoin needs. And what do we have right here? A rejection at the 200 simple on the daily. But what time frames are we looking at? 1 hour, 4 hour daily. Hey man, appreciate that, man. Very much appreciate that. You got a natural bounce point right at about $1.02. 4 hour looks a little bit of short term downside, so I would be looking for about $1.02 to get stabbed, and then very likely a short term bounce right there. Yeah, hourly is kind of losing its luster as well. But here's the thing, you know, we kind of have a similar thing as to one of the other charts that we looked at earlier today. I forget which one it is, but basically any sort of a daily closure, especially below about basically just 102, you know, anywhere below about $1, you know, just make it nice and easy, make it a nice round and easy number. If you close a daily anywhere below there, I'd be looking for the majority of this rally to be coughed up, and this thing will come back down, you know, well below $1, probably down like 85 or 80 cents or so, maybe even lower. But for right now, I'd give it the benefit of the doubt. Again, you know, alongside the rest of the market, I do think that we try maybe one more short-term move to the upside first. Do the altcoins follow all that well? Probably not. Probably not. But you know, it probably does bounce off the 102 level first, and then come back to it after that. Probably going to be easy to watch Bitcoin if Bitcoin starts to break down below $41,000, which I don't think that it does this week. If it is going to do it at all, then this thing probably gets hammered and comes back down to its current lows at like 80 cents or so. But for right now, you know, long term, Actually, all things considered, oh no, we don't have 2017 data for this one. I'd expect that if we did have 2017 data for this one, I'd want to know if it actually did make new all-time highs above that. Unfortunately, we don't know right here. Weekly's okay too, so I'd give it the benefit of the doubt right here. Obviously, to the upside, you would have your continuation just anywhere above this spike high that you saw on the 8th of August yesterday, 121 and a half right there. I would be looking at a nice little rally, a nice little rally back up to about 135 or so if that were to happen. But for right now, a little bit of pressure on. Okay, let's see what else we got. Spencer Smith, there he is. Zer. Hello, sir. You got all my pronouns right today. Thank you very much. Hope all is wonderful. All is I think very well right now. You never know, though. You never know. It's one of those things, man. You never know if things are good or bad until after the fact. So you might as well just not judge the present moment anyways. Just enjoy. Just accept. There we go. There's your positive message of the day. Someone tipped me in Bitcoin at work today. Really? That's kind of cool. Bullish AF. Yeah, that is actually kind of cool. How did that even... Did he stay around for the confirmations? All right, I'm just gonna... Are you a stripper, sir? That's also what I need to know. Costco. Okay, symbol cost on the weekly, please. Okay, got it. All right, you bought the meme. You bought the 420 meme. I like it. Oh, and you actually made a phenomenal trade. You bought the breakout. Phenomenally done, man. Phenomenally done. Oh, wow. Powerful, Spencer. Powerful, Spencer. It isn't a blue sky breakout right here. This is obviously one of the best charts you're going to see long term. It's very fucking good right here. Very, 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 very extended at the same time. But do we go for some of those deeper targets first? You do have a natural one between about 450 and 460 or so. Above there, you got $500 long term. I don't know how long term you are, but you basically bought the breakout. Very easy to manage a position like that. No real reason to let it go as long as you're above or I shouldn't say no reason to let it go, but basically, as long as this thing's above about 430, I don't think that this position is in danger. Take that as you will. This is very fucking good right here. There's going to be ebbs and flows short term, but it sounds like you're more long term minded. So I'll just focus on the weekly and the monthly specifically. Both of these time frames looking good for continuation to those, somewhere around those upside targets. Again, I don't think there's a great way to get blue sky breakout targets. Except for short term, you can kind of judge it off that. But if I was going to do long term, then this would be it right here. It worked pretty fucking well for Bitcoin, and it's worked pretty damn well in traditional markets as well. So I'll just kind of leave it right there, and you can decide for yourself, sir. All right, Banana Man. Hey, what's up, man? Oh, banana. Oh, you're banana. Elsa hates bananas. Actually, I think bananas are great though. That is not a homosexual reference, just by the way. B Pro. Oh, you like the meat steak, sir. You like the old tube steaks. B Pro 4 hour. When will small caps see their upside? Okay, B Pro 4 hour. Small caps typically see their upside when all of the large caps are done doing their major parabolic rallies, right? The altcoin market didn't rally throughout pretty much the whole time from December to February, March. So that whole time, and realistically the year before, Bitcoin was just straight up. I mean, realistically, it was kind of boring at some times, going sideways, but it was mostly straight up. I mean, it was just a weekly uptrend the whole way through. Whereas this thing, you can see, didn't join the rally party, until March. Just has a one-off right here. I hate charts that look like this. This is a fucking garbage piece of shit chart, man. I avoid shit like this like the goddamn plague. When it just pumps out of nowhere and then dumps out of nowhere, that is called a pump and dump by fucking definition. I really, 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 really do not like this kind of shit. But fair enough, it's actually had one of the better results in the short term, in the last couple of weeks here than most altcoins, to be fair. So have to give it its due diligence short term. But here's the thing: any sort of a daily closure, even a wick lower, I'd say, probably a little bit too aggressive to do that. But you could maybe use the wick lower than 4th of August if you want to be super aggressive. However, I'd probably wait for a daily closure below about 0.9 of a cent, and I'd be looking for this whole rally to be undone, and this thing comes back down to half a cent, or about half a cent, maybe even more. But typically speaking, when do altcoins see their rallies? They see it after Bitcoin in the large caps have kind of gone on their macro rallies. So I wouldn't expect anything like this anytime soon, basically, because you can see this really only happened during March, just really realistically for a few days here. And it did go up a lot. Don't get me wrong. I mean, these things do pump, and the general notion is that scams or just shitcoins pump the hardest, and that's true. I mean, it's easier to move them, but compare that with Bitcoin, right? Which Bitcoin, enjoyed basically a year straight of just weekly uptrend right here since March 2020 all the way up to our $65,000 highs, with only just a few, you know, sideways consolidations along the way. So, you know, it can be some time, man. It can be some time. I wouldn't be looking for altcoins to really pick it up until Bitcoin's like topped out realistically, because where did March happen? March was basically when Bitcoin was grinding up against its current all-time highs. So typically that's what we see. We saw the same thing in 2017, 2018. We did see the same thing in 2014 and 2015 as well. I've actually gone back and done the studies on that, and it's pretty damn consistent. And this is consistent amongst most major markets. You know, typically your majors, your strong ones lead the rallies. Once they start to kind of, you know, trade a bit of sideways and put in their highs, then the next tier of strongest do join the party, and then, you know, goes on and so forth until the garbage gutter get to join the party as well. And that's typically a sign of the end. And it was a sign of the end of the last rally right there, as you do see. Anyways, Mr. Mean Gun says, any thoughts on Link daily weekly? Yeah, let's check it out. I am curious to see what Link's doing right now. 22.5 bucks, putting in a bit of a daily high right there. I'm curious what the weekly looks like first. Weekly is just a bit of a backfill thus far. So, you know, again, I'd give, for the majority of these, I'd give them the benefit of the doubt on the short-term timeframes right now. I would be looking for a bounce off of about 21.5 bucks. Short-term, if we go to like a 4 hour, which I know you didn't ask for, yeah, I would be looking for this one to continue on with the short-term down right there. So very, very likely does test around about 21.5 bucks. I want to see the response around there. If you do get a daily closure anywhere below 21.5, wherever the 21 is, I would be looking for this one to really cough up a strong portion of its rally, somewhere back down just below 18 bucks, somewhere between there and about 17 bucks. But for right now, I give it the benefit of the doubt alongside the rest of the market, and that is technically just a backfill in last week open. But I don't think that you're going to be, you know, taking out this current high right here, like right here right now, and then you got a very and if you were to maybe later this month or something, you got a very obvious area to be looking at about just below 28 bucks at the 200 simple, which actually has stifled Bitcoin's current attempts to the upside. So technically speaking, Link is in a much worse position than a lot of things right now. It's no longer one of the strongest coins, which it was for years on end. This was a really fucking good chart, one of the best charts in cryptocurrency land by far. But right now, this one did not make a new high above its rejective highs that we saw way back on over here in early June, whereas the strong ones have. This one kind of struggling. So I'm not a humongous fan of this chart overall because it is on the relatively weak side, but it's going to depend on whatever Bitcoin and Ethereum do, right? If they start to fall a little bit lower, which I think over time they very likely will, then this one, you know, was going to get smashed a little bit more more in that direction. But yeah, short term, very likely a little bit of short term downside. I would be looking for a bounce, however, at about 21.5. And then come back to it maybe like later this week, early next week. Other than that, any sort of a closure below 21.5, very fucking bad. You can expect that this thing will come down, you know, well below 20 bucks at that point. Somewhere between about, I think I said 17, somewhere around about 17 bucks with stops along the way, I imagine. All right, let's see what else we got over here. Chester, what's up, Chester? Chester Adlin says, when moon on Karuna, long-term outlook. Okay, so when moon on some obscure random shitcoin. Let's see. Karuma. Let's see if is it this thing right? It is this thing right here. Okay, cool. Kraken, OKX, and KuCoin off to a really fucking good start. Okay, let's see what it looks like on Derpcoin. Oh, this thing hasn't even been around for all that long. There's no longer term analysis to do on something that's been around for a couple, like a month here. It's actually less than a month. Going back to July 20th. Maybe there's another chart that has more history. No, OKX does not. Let's maybe check one more. Maybe we can, where would it be? Yeah, the Kraken. No, I can't give you a good faith opinion on this, man. I'd have to say a healthy amount of I don't know. Now, short term, I do feel quite strongly that it will trade down here, back down to about $6. But long term, look, technical analysis is already very imperfect. Even when you have like 10 to 20 years of history, this thing doesn't even have a fucking month of history. So there's no way at all whatsoever to be judging long-term analysis on something like this. And if someone is giving you that, you know, maybe there's something that I'm not seeing. That's very possible, but I would be very skeptical that they're selling you a whole lot of garbage. Yeah, man. Short term does look a little bit obvious that it wants to come down a little bit here, but other than that, man, I don't really have a strong opinion on this. And to address your question specifically, I don't have any opinion on long term analysis for this thing. Okay, cool. Let's see what else we got over here. Nick says, hey, Krown, hope all is well. Can you check out Ethereum on the hourly, 4-hour, and daily? I think we already looked at it, so I'm probably just getting to this a little bit later. But if you do want to look at the very low-term timeframes, I don't think we did that exactly. Let's see what the hourly looks like. Down, I'd be looking for a bit of a bounce attempt at around 28.50 or so. Actually see, make sure that everything is settled over here. Okay, cool. Might actually be some good scalping opportunities today. Maybe we don't see a test the upside first before coming down first. Perhaps that is going to be the way. Oh well, fair enough. Anyways, 4-hour, you know, a little bit lower than that, but overall, short term down. I'd be looking for a bounce somewhere around about, what was it, 28 and a half first. I'd be looking for a bounce somewhere right around there. If that area does fail, which it actually looks like it will. It actually looks like it will. Then I would be looking for about 27.50 on both the hourly and 4-hour. Very likely a bounce there. And that actually would still be a higher low on the 4-hour specifically. So, you know, higher term timeframes are obviously still good here. Don't get me wrong. And this could actually be the pullback first before another try higher. So perhaps I'll be wrong on the order of operations here in the sense that Bitcoin tries higher first to about 45 once again before going back down to about 41,000 bucks. Perhaps it's 41,000 bucks first and then tries a little bit higher. And then, you know, maybe we trade sideways for like a week or so and then perhaps test some actual downside. But for right now, you know, again, weekly chart's very, very good. I didn't ask about it, but I do quite like this. And long term, you know, you would still have a technical target of 3,400 to 3,500 bucks based off of weekly hidden bullish evidence right on over here. The second that, I wouldn't say the second, but once the weekly RSI gets back in the bullish control zone, that's going to start to look really, 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 really good. So yeah, short term down, but I would be looking for bounces either 28.50 or 27.50, and it's looking a little bit more like 27.50 actually. So I suppose I'll just leave that as it is. All right, cool. Let's get back onto the comments right around here. Rashi Carr says, hey bro, what's up, man? It came to my attention, I don't like your fuzzy hair. Okay, well, definitely leave a dislike on the video and let me know in the comment section as well. But if Elsa is cool with it, I'll live. Oh, nice. Okay, well, just let the woman decide everything in your life, sir. Can you have a look at HTR chart daily? Sure. Let's see. What was it? HTR. Okay. All right. Is it stock or crypto? HTR, it's either that Huntsman or I'm guessing it's probably this. It's probably this Hathor. So we got the mountains token over here. Jesus Christ, man. Everything's tokenized nowadays. Oh, you gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. All right, 4-hour and daily. 4 hours not really gonna give me too much. Daily, very similar analysis to a lot of the other altcoins here. This one's a little bit more on the relatively weak side. You do see it's been getting obvious rejections right around here. Right around that last prior high from 3rd of June, actually. Now, I do give this one the benefit of the doubt alongside all the other, alongside most of the other altcoins. As long as you're above the daily 21, I do suspect that any sort of move down there very likely does produce another higher low at about 50 cents or so. But that also implies any sort of a closure below 50 cents. I would be looking for this thing to come down much further, down around, you know, just below 40 cents, actually, somewhere between about 38 and 40 cents. But for right now, it isn't a daily uptrend. It's okay, but I would say it's a little bit more on the relatively weak side as it has not joined in this current rally as much as others. 4-hour, not giving me too much right there. Hourly, looks like it wants to once again stab the lows first before trying for a bounce. That would be about 55 cents. And then I want to see where the daily comes up. And yes, I do think that it will probably put in a bit of a higher low right there, actually. Again, I don't think that the market is going to break down below 41,000 bucks this week for Bitcoin specifically. So I do think downside is somewhat limited for most altcoins. So take that as you will, but you know, so far the bounce actually pretty damn good. Let's see what the 5-day looks like on this one. 5-day looks really fucking good, man. This one's very likely to try up over the next week or two, to be honest with you. I do think it'll give another try towards about 66.5 cents, and any sort of a higher high on a wick basis above, even yesterday's high would do it for me. I'd be looking for extension all the way up to somewhere between about 78 cents, maybe even as much as 88 cents, somewhere around there, and look for a bit of a rejection right there. But again, a little bit more on the relatively weak side. It's not falling as much on the upside as most of the other altcoins, especially the stronger ones. But short term, yeah, probably does find its lows right around here and does try another upside move. And then we'll come back to it next week. How about that? But yeah, higher term time frames look okay right there. Okay, cool. Super Googly says, I am shaking now. Massive buy signal just flashed for the Bitcoin price. Hello, sir. Can we look at Matic Bitcoin daily and weekly, please? Sure, man. Oh my Lord, man. Yeah. It's very interesting to see all across the YouTube land. Everyone's talking about the same thing as of the last 24 hours. The hash ribbons indicator has become the most prized indicator of all time. Very, very interesting. Very fucking interesting. Anyways, let's see. Matic BTC daily. Oh, wait, nope. I'm looking at Matic USD. Sorry about that. That was just that was like a reflex right there. Let's look at Matic BTC. Yeah, this chart's a lot easier than the USD variety of this one actually down. I'd be looking for this one to come down to about just below 2,300 satoshis, maybe even spikes all the way down to like 1950. Overall, if we go to a weekly, I don't know what to make of this on a weekly. So a healthy amount of I don't know is the right call right there. Let's maybe go to a monthly and see what this one looks like. Monthly looks down. Yeah, I'd probably be looking for this one to shatter a little bit lower. And that plays into my general thoughts on the Bitcoin dominance chart. That Bitcoin dominance very likely is putting in still daily higher lows here and will work its way back above about 50%. But keep in mind, just because the Bitcoin pairing for Matic will go down, that does not imply that the US dollar valuation will go down. That's more of a function of whichever way that Bitcoin goes, which I'm sure that you already know. I mean, you've been here for a while, and it seems like you're pretty experienced by this point. But overall, yeah, short term down, and actually would be looking for this one, probably to fail below 2,000 satoshis long, over the next month or two. Anyways, let's see. Okay, Nacho Fiat, welcome to the cave, sir. Thank you for joining, sir. The Legend Ali Z says, for Scott's GoFundMe page, go buy AMD calls, dude. Yeah, let's check this out. I actually do want to check. I know this wasn't necessarily a request to look at AMD, but whoa, that's a little bit of rejection right there. Let's look at the weekly. Okay, that actually is a pretty nasty rejection, to be fair, but I think that this one does get picked back on up. Probably does trade back down somewhere around like 105, 106 this week, but I'd be looking for that to be picked back on up. This is still very, very good on a monthly. I mean, monthly RSI telling the story alongside monthly volatility actually too. I mean, it's about to expand off the lows. That is, I don't think this one's done just yet. That's pretty fucking crazy, actually. Short term, yeah, a little bit of downside, 106 and a quarter, but we're looking for that to get picked up. I would hold off on getting anything resembling bearish on this one, as long as, especially like $100. Powerful, very powerful move. Okay, cool. Jonathan K says, think we go any higher than 45 for Bitcoin short term? I think it's possible anywhere. I have no real I have no real call to be made right there as far as like the exact price to the cent. Just anywhere in this blue box, or nope, wrong chart right there. Anywhere in this blue box is fair game. That'd be between about 45.5 on CME specifically to about $49,000. I happen to think it'll probably be more around like 46 and a half, just, if I had to throw out a number out there. But again, anywhere around there, I'd be looking for any sort of signs of weakness that could be, putting in bearish divergence on, especially these lower term timeframes. But let's see if we even have a potential on a daily. No, not really right now. It'd take a little bit of time to happen. So, if you start to see bearish divergence on a 4 hour, maybe even a 12 hour, 12 hour could do it a little bit later. Anywhere around that region, anywhere in that region, that's at the point where I start to look, for a downside move. So it just kind of gives me the idea that there's an edge within that region, and then I start to look at indicators for, okay, do we see momentum turning down? Maybe Stokes starting to turn down from a high level. Maybe we start to see some bearish divergence on top of that. Maybe volatility starts to go again into a contraction phase. If we see something like that, then yeah, I'd probably be looking for highs. But it's just it's just kind of like a red light signal in the way that I look at it within that region. So yeah. It's like, does it go to 45,000 in $1? Maybe, so does it can it go any higher? Yeah, probably does, just by definition. But let's see, if we were to just specifically reference CME, yeah, 46.5 is kind of where I'd be looking towards, just tentatively speaking. But at the end of the day, man, it just kind of went, the way that I trade is I don't trade breakouts. I trade ranges. So I'm looking for weakness over here, and I'm looking for bottom, short-term bottoming signals over here. And those are the ranges that I like to kind of scalp off of. So until we actually get there, there's no real trade to be made. So I understand that most people are like long-term investors or maybe swing traders in essence. So you don't really think like that, but that's the way that I think to kind of relate where I come at these sort of situations from. It's a lot more of a simplistic process, actually, because I just find that it works out easier. To be fair, Johnny Boy says, Alchemy Pay coin TA prees. How high can this coin go? Oh boy. Okay, Alchemy Pay. What's the ticker? Oh god, this is a hard word to spell. Alchemy. There we go. Hey, there it is. Oh, Huobi and KuCoin. Great. Fucking great. Oh, and even on Uniswap and SushiSwap. Oh! Oh! Whoa! Fuck! Johnny boy! Mike Bolanos, welcome to the cave, sir. J3F, SPWR, daily, weekly, 4 hour. Do we have a real stock here? Weekly and 4 hour. Daily, a bit of a range going on right now. I actually do expect that this one will test the lows once again, about $21.5. Weekly, same thing, bit of a range going on. I wouldn't necessarily call it bearish though. Let's look at the long term here. Yeah, this looks like a shitcoin of a stock. What the hell? Is this what you want to look at, or is there like some currency? No, it's not. Okay, so this is what you want to look at very likely. See what a monthly looks like too. I would be looking for it to grind out this like $21.5 level a few times, but I don't think it's actually breaking down right here. I think it's actually going to go into a sideways consolidation at best for a while. Probably move this area down just a smidgen here. Something like this. Probably do test around there just below 21 bucks, but I'd be looking for sideways for a while. Probably even takes like a month or two, and then maybe later this year this one will try a breakout back above about 31, 33 or so. And first targets would be the highs of this rally over here in March, like 38.25. Let's see. You said 4 hour and 4 hour daily, weekly. That's quite the range right there. 4 hour short term down. Very likely back down to about 21.25, maybe even all the way down to 20.5 or so. But I would be looking for bounces there. Again, I do think this one trades sideways for a while. Here's what the quarterly looks like. Quarterly looks a little bit nastier here, but I do look at the volume signature here as indicative of a change of behavior. So I give it the benefit of the doubt. We did take out the swing high from April 2014. So I do think this one spends its time going sideways, and then maybe later this year tries an upside move. Now your obvious area to kind of let go of that idea, of course, would be a daily closure below. Let's call it 20 bucks below there. Big problems, but until that happens, sideways is fine for a while. But I don't think it does anything too interesting on the higher term timeframes anytime soon. Okay, cool. Should we go back and look at Alchemy Pay? I don't look the Johnny boy. Sorry, man. Hopefully that was a troll comment, or but if it was not, how high can Alchemy Pay go? I mean, the potential high is unlimited. The probability of that is probably extremely low, extremely fucking low. I'm actually curious. Because this thing did seem like it put in some pretty epic rallies that were immediately rejected for the. Hey, what the fuck? Hey, what the hell? This is not the same chart that I looked at earlier. What the fuck? Did I just done goof on this? Hold on. Johnny boy, maybe I have an apology to give you. I think I have an apology to give you, man. Okay, so these were different things. Whatever. All right, so you're probably talking about this one, I'm guessing. Yeah. All right. Okay. I apologize. Yeah, I did get that one wrong. It's a completely different chart. It's a completely different chart than what I looked at before. So apologies on that one. Anyways, okay, cool. So let's go to how high can this one go long term? There's no way to know, man. This thing's in price discovery right now. Now it did get a pretty nasty rejection right here. Let's go down to a lower term time frame to kind of judge it. Yeah, this is not a rejection. This is reaccumulation. Very obviously, this one's not done. This one's not done, man. This is very fucking good. Nothing bearish about this thing as long as you're above about 10.25. And I would even look for another continuous rally to new all-time highs, or at least around your current all-time highs, like 18.5 to 20 cents. You can even just trade above your 8th of August highs right here at 14.5 or so. This one looks very fucking good, man. Probably one of the best altcoin charts I've seen today. So I do owe you an apology first and foremost, and also how high can this thing go? If it takes out that high right there, I would be looking for another retest somewhere around 20 cents. Going to go higher than that over time. Weekly's pretty fucking good here. I'd want to see it retest the prior all-time high first. I don't really have like an obvious way to be judging continuation targets here, just because even a Fibonacci extension on like a 4 hours, it's not going to be too damn dependable. But what I can say is that I would have a general sideways and up bias as long as you're above this 10.25 cent pivot right there. If it does come back down and actually break this level in a 4 hour closure, I would be looking for it to go for a deeper retracement back down just below 7 cents. But I don't think that's what's happening right here. That's actually pretty damn good, all things considered. So I don't have any upside targets other than if you break your or if you just trade above your 8th of August high, I would be looking for somewhere between about 18.5 to 20 cents. And then maybe it forms something else that actually gives us a bias for higher prices over time. But for right now, pretty damn good, just sideways and up. Looking nice, man. Looking very, very nice. Mark Hale says, looking for a long-term entry point for copper. Okay, what's the ticker for this one? I think it's like No, I'm thinking of crude light. I'm just going to type in it's HG. That's it. There we go. There we go. They have to use the atomic, what is it? The atomic number or the atomic, whatever the fuck. The atomic chart. There we go. Medium-term timeframes and long-term impression of copper. Okay, medium-term for this one's probably going to be like a daily. Long-term is going to be like a weekly, monthly. So let's just see where we're at in the grand scheme of things. Actually, let's go to a monthly. We probably need very long-term on this. Okay, this is actually a pretty damn good chart, but I don't think this one's ready to break out to new all-time highs just yet. I do think it's going to take some... Look, I'm going to call this one a good chart because it is a good chart. You're putting in constructive higher lows over a long period of time. I do think you've seen the highs of this current rally, however. Might give one more try back up north of like 465 or so. Look at a quarterly right here. Quarterly's pretty good, actually. Let's go down to a daily. All right, let's give this one the benefit of the doubt because I don't know what medium or long-term means to you on this one. It probably is going to trade sideways here for a while. In fact, we can just do this on the short-term time frames very easily. Between about 460 and about 413, 415 or so. Anywhere between here is completely fine, completely constructive, and would have a natural bullish bias. When I look at the higher-term time frames, however, I do suspect that we probably will come back down to about 3.5, 360 or so, and try for another higher low somewhere around, somewhere around that area, and set it up for a potential breakout, maybe like a year and a half to a couple years down the road. This one's going to take a long time. I don't know what long-term means to you, but if you are truly long-term, you probably are thinking you're probably thinking along the lines of like years down the road. I suspect that, this one probably does come back down, sets in a higher low. But if you're just looking at the daily right here, technically speaking, if you do break back above about 460, even just trade higher than your 27th of July high right here, I would look for it to retest the current highs at about 475, 480, and then probably does go for that move. I think it's a little bit less likely right here, but I would give it the benefit of the doubt, depending upon which time frame that you're looking at. But if I did have to call it right now, I think that you're probably going to try once again, somewhere around 4.5, probably reject from there, and then spend like half a year coming back down, set in a higher low, and then very long term, assuming that you are truly talking about long term, probably does go for the upside breakout. Because this is a very fucking good long term, very, very good chart long term. In fact, let's go look at the yearly chart. Yearly chart's great. In fact, yearly chart is probably going to break out within the next year or two. This one looks very fucking good. Let's see what a semi-annual chart looks like as well. Yeah, very good as well. Very, very good as well. So perhaps I could be wrong about a deeper retracement there. If that's the case, if I am going to be wrong about that, we expect it not to break below about 410 or so, below about 410. But anywhere between here is still sideways. Sideways is still very good. But the second that you start to break this to the downside, that's when I'd start to really lean into that idea that it will go for a deeper retracement, but set it up for a long-term breakout specifically. Okay, cool. All right, let me take a sip of this water, man. I am damn thirsty right now, so please enjoy the sweet, succulent sounds of my water drinking ASMR. Did I just look at Mercury? Did I not get that one right? Let's see. Typing, it was copper futures. Okay, so I was wrong about the atomic symbol of it. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, showing my fucking my uneducation right there. Okay, Jonathan K is back. He says, thanks. I guess my question was, will we have time to sell in pieces that $45,000 to $48,000 region, or is that quick $45,000 hit the top for now and that's it? This is pretty cool. Nice. She is pretty cool, man. She's great. Anyways, let's go back to the chart over here. Okay, so here's the thing. I do look at CME's chart as the most important chart, and to be fair, CME has not hit $45,000, so I don't think that we've actually seen that move just yet, so to speak. I think that Bitcoin still, I do still kind of think that Bitcoin, trades a little bit of sideways here, maybe tests a little bit of downside once again down to about $43,000, but ultimately does flip back around and try for that move towards 45. But the question is, basically the question is, in the way that I understand it, and let me know if I'm wrong on this one, is would you expect like a quick spike, quick rejection, that's your only chance to sell? No, actually, I do think if it is going to top out right there, it probably grinds it. It probably even spends like a week grinding it, with perhaps a couple, a few tries up to the $45,000 region. But again, this is more crystal ball type of shit. And I don't think that that's like as relevant as what's more important. And the more important thing here is that this area right here is kind of where I'd be looking for any signals of weakness, right? Any signals of weakness. You can see right now on the daily for CME, we're not really getting signals of weakness right here. So that to me tells me that it's probably going to spend some time within that region. And if we start to see signals of weakness, that's at the point where I say, hey, this is very likely to come back down. You know, probably back down to 41,000 bucks at the very least, maybe lower than that. And then we'll just kind of judge it after that. But for right now, no, I wouldn't say it's going to be a quick spike. If it is going to be a quick spike, that'd be a lot more indicative of like a real bull trap. And when I say a real bull trap, I mean Bitcoin's not just going to come back down to 41,000 bucks. It's going to come back down to like 33 to 35,000 bucks, and maybe even take out the lows at that point. I mean that would make me really start to consider that perhaps the lows are not actually in. As of right now, I do believe that the lows are in. So fair enough. So hopefully I address your question properly that now. So let me know if that was the right interpretation. What's up, Charles Fox? I see you over there. Gold and silver. We looked at both of them actually. Gold actually, yes, it had a pretty impressive dump, but it also had a pretty impressive wick right now too. So I'd kind of hold off on looking for any continuation like immediately. I do think it bounces up first before anything else. Spencer Smith says long-term AF. And yeah, we just cue our phone kissed. Oh, nice. Okay. And then you just stood around you for 20 minutes. That tip better be coming in, bitch. Exactly, man. That's Bitcoin at its best, man. What is it, like 10 to 20 minute blocks? I think it's 10-minute blocks, but how many confirmations do you need? How many, sir? How many? And there we go. There's a little very cute doggy actually. Who do we have now? We got Dan K. I've removed and re-added your same Capriola's hash ribbons indicator, still showing no blue buy signal. Sorry, but can you do the same? I'm certain, sir. For the love of fucking God, make sure you're on the right goddamn chart. Look at the index. You're probably on like, I don't know. You're probably on one of these. Maybe it's not showing. Okay, let's just retry this. Let's see. Okay, it's on MEX, it's on Coinbase, it's on Bitstamp, it's on Finex, it's on the index, BLX, it's even on as well. Sir, I'd have to say, I'd have to respectfully disagree. And also, I think it's relevant to reference that the majority of people, in fact, I don't think anyone besides you has seen that it is not true in that in that vein. Maybe I can just try adding it again, just as you said. You can try it just like here. But I'm going to respectfully disagree. God damn it! What the fuck? I don't want to do that. Hold on. Here we go. Okay, there we go. I'd have to say still no. It's still no, man. So as you can see, I've just added it right in front of your very face. Perhaps you're on a different exchange. It could be. Maybe even on CME. Yeah, even on CME it's showing. I mean, it should be tethered to like the same thing anyway, so it shouldn't even really matter. But yeah. Although it does actually, because it is slight differential between those last two exchanges right there. Fair enough. Either which way, I'd have to say I'm unable to reproduce whatever you are looking at. So unfortunately, we'll just have to leave it right there, man. Chris DeLisa says XRP weekly monthly, please, sir. It's probably some other setting like exchange or something. Anyways, okay, yeah, we'll get back onto it. XRP, let's do this. Let's see, where's the old Ripple me nipples over here? 78.8 cent. Actually holding it up relatively well, right at the 200. That's kind of what I'd be expecting for Bitcoin. Let's see, you're looking at weekly and monthly though, not on the daily. Okay, fair enough. We'll be respectful of that. Actually, daily, I know you didn't ask about it, but daily's pretty good here. Daily Jewel swinging around for a continuation signal on very, 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 very low volatility. So this is kind of a setup right here. Daily RSI back in the bullish control zone. Okay, well, fair enough. We'll just go to the weekly. Did regain the 21, a little bit of a laggard in this essence, so it's a little bit on the relatively weak side, but that would have a short-term technical target. I wouldn't say short-term, but over the next week or two, because it is a weekly after all. Also based off the hidden bullish divergence right here and getting back above the exponential, somewhere back around about 88 to 90 cents, it looks like 88 to 91.5 cents to be exact. Monthly, I'm not getting too much from this. Just kind of tells me that the spike low is. If this market truly is bottom, that is the low until proven otherwise, which is kind of what it's kind of my general disposition on Bitcoin. So I'd imagine XRP is respectful of that as well. They typically do trade together. Just XRP doesn't follow as much to the upside, unfortunately, for the XRPers over there. Looking at the short-term timeframes, I know you asked about them. Higher lows as long as you're above about 75 cents, so 3/4. is an obvious area to be watching right here. There is one area that I very obviously be getting bearish on. That would be anywhere below about 72.5 cent, anywhere below even 73 cent. That would look pretty damn bad, but I don't think that's what you're doing right here. I actually really like this one on the daily, weekly, kind of same thing as well. Very similar setup. So if I did have to call it, I do think over the next couple weeks it probably gives a move up to about 88 cents, maybe even 91. Not looking too bad right there. Okay, cool. Lance. The fuck did I just hear? Lance? Appreciate that, man. Tropic Thunder is still one of the best movies. The terrible thing about today's day and age is that we could never have another Tropic Thunder. And that's one of the best movies of all time. One of the best comedy movies of all time. What the fuck did I just hear, Lance? Ain't nothing in the Bible about that, Lance. Ethereum Bitcoin in 2017 had its high in May 2017. I wonder if this year will be similar. So like just a time of year analysis. I mean, markets are somewhat cyclical in nature, but I always am very skeptical of stuff like that, especially when you only have like one iteration, right? So it's like we topped out in May before, so we're going to top out in May again. And to be fair, I mean, pretty fucking close there. I think it actually did top out in May this year once again. Let's see. Yep, it did. Hey, fair enough. But yeah, I mean, stop it. Well, so far it is a top, but anyways, I'll get on with the rest of your with your statement here. Also, you might find interesting typing in Floki versus Ethereum. Pretty sure that was a decent sized market cap coin. Okay. Check it out. I really like Floki and Vikings. Another one of my favorite shows there. I'm guessing Uniswap's. Oh my fucking god! What the hell? Oh, this thing actually went to zero. This thing actually has gone to zero. You don't see that ever. It's actually pretty damn rare to see things literally go to zero. Usually they get like a little bit of like a pity right there, like a million zeros and then like a one, but it must be a rug pull or something, or like it turned out to be a literal scam. That's a. I do find it interesting because like very rarely do you actually see something go to zero, but I guess literally no one wants it. How could that be? How could the government let this happen? All the volume on this right here. It's traded a total of 373 contracts today. Or actually, no, 2 contracts today, 373 yesterday. Jesus. Or no, this is an hourly. So yeah, this is all today. All right, fair enough. Yeah, that's actually pretty damn interesting. That is terrible. This can't. How could they let this happen to Floki? Maybe on Sushi Swap? Nope, still zero. Wow. It's literally the worst chart I've ever seen ever. Actually, the worst chart. Wow. God damn, man. I'm not laughing at anyone who lost money in that, but Jesus Christ, what happened? What's the story behind that one? Like, certainly there's got to be something that that happened with that one. A dude pretending to be another dude, pretending to be another dude. What's up, Philson? There he is. Yeah, Tropic Thunder is super legit. I mean, I don't think I've even seen a good comedy movie anytime recently. Chester Adlin says, I'm so sorry. All good, man. I did not ask for your preferred gender pronoun. Please forgive me. That's right. That's right. Get him out of here. Get him out. Chester, why did you not realize? If I have to tell you that I'm a fucking he, him, Jesus Lord, dude. How are you going to get dressed in the morning, man? That's right. I identify for 1 second as a woman, and you better get it right or it's jail time for you, bastard. Social credit score is in the gutter, sir. Jeff says, sorry for my redundant and kind of stupid messages. It's all good, man. It's all good. I'm too tired here. No, man. It's no need to apologize, my friend. Sending some love nonetheless. My fucking man. I salute you, sir. Best of the best to you as well, my friend. And Elsa to Satoshi. There you go, man. There you go, brother. Nate says, hello, Krown. What's up, Nate? Good to see you, man. Can you check out 10 cent? Yeah. Or is this 10 cent? Yeah. It's the Sim Virgin? Oh, Faraz! My virgin until Dogecoin to zero. I just want to see Dogecoin below 10 cents. That'll do it for me. God damn. Oh, great one. All right. Nate says daily and weekly. I bought 471, sold 531. Nice. Not bad. Now I plan to buy at 505 again. Oh my God. You literally pretty much sold the top. I mean, that's about as good as it gets. Okay, top was 433. You sold, what was it, 531? Pretty fucking good, man. You're basically planning to buy the daily 21. It is in an uptrend. It is on a breakout. That would be kind of like your natural point I don't know if it gets down around there, and it'll naturally kind of scoot up as time goes on. But I do kind of like it. Yeah, anywhere around there, like low 500 is probably fair game, at least for a bounce. If you do want to scalp something like that. Long term, very good chart. So I do expect that this is probably going to have. Oh my god, man! Yeah, look at that monthly. Yeah, short term very likely does come back down somewhere around about I'd say 505 to 510 or so. And I'd be looking for a bounce around there, probably back up to like 515 to 520-ish region. And then if it carries on with the macro rally, great. If not, you got a great scalp. Sam Wells, his thoughts on the Cardano and daily and weekly. Sure, let's check it out. We haven't looked at Cardano today. In fact, no one's. It seems like people kind of lost their love affair with Cardano recently. Cardano 140 did have a pretty damn good rally at the end of last week. Yes, similar chart to a lot of the other ones. I do suspect. We go down to a 4-hour. 4-hour is down. 4-hour wants to come back down to 138 or so, but it is still higher lows on the daily and even on the 4-hour as long as you're above where? As long as you're above about 133.5 or so. That's kind of my line in the sand for this one. Any sort of a daily closure below about 135, I would be looking for this one to go all the way back down, probably below 120 or so. The thing is that market analysis kind of trumps everything else, and the weekly is not bad here. The weekly very likely does try back up north of like 150 to somewhere between about 155 to 160 or so. I suspect in like the next week or two. This actually looks pretty damn good right here. Hidden bullish divergence off the last weekly low. I'd like to see the RSI get above the exponential in this case, but that would be kind of the next criteria. But we've already seen the weekly jewel lose its downside curvature. If it does get the cyan read right there, it already has the autofib green. I mean, that's going to look good for a continuation of bounce. Probably even imply targets a little bit higher towards 169, 170ish region. Monthly, I'm not getting too much from the monthly. It's definitely a bit of a laggard in the more immediate rally, which is kind of unexpected, I would say, just because it was so strong the year prior. So to me, that's not the best sign right there. But short term, yeah, very likely does test down. But I need to see a bounce and a higher low being formed anywhere above about 135, and that would look decent to kind of join the rest of the market rally. Again, easier to watch Bitcoin in my opinion. Easier to watch Bitcoin, but if this, if Bitcoin tries to the upside, this one's going to fall alongside with it. Short term, I would say short-term continuation. It's not going to be too helpful here, unfortunately, but any sort of a 4-hour closing new high above about 140, 148 or so would probably do it for me. And then, yeah, I'd be looking for that weekly move to happen after that, over the next couple of weeks, like I said. So, the setup is there, but if Bitcoin shows any weakness, especially, that thing looks like it's going to get hammered a little bit more to the downside. Okay. God damn it, Justin Tomiak. All right, we'll look at this bullshit. Please tell Krown to take a look at LYXE on the 4-hour daily weekly on Thursday and said moon. Why no moon, sir? Why do me like that? All right, let's check it out. LYXE. Did I say moon on this? Let's see. Oh, it's a derp coin right here. Oh, I probably would I've said moon over. I mean, you did kind of moon. Okay, so I said that on Thursday. Let's see, where was Thursday? Kind of backtrace my statements. All right, that was 5th. That was right here. So you went all the way. If we're going from wick to wick, you could also do closure to closure. Went 40%, man. I think that was pretty fucking good, to be honest with you. If you do a closing basis, probably a little bit less, obviously. Still about 13.5%. Don't know if I'd call that a moon, and I don't think that you can expect a moon in just like a day or two. But, sir, you okay over there? All right. Anyways, daily, I'd actually be looking for this one to trade back down about 975 and try for a bounce there. 4 hours very obviously downside angled here too. So I'd be looking for a little bit of short-term downside, probably bounce around there. Same sort of interpretation on this one, as several of the other ones. In this case, I'd actually use the 200 simple for a bit of a bias buster right here. Any sort of a daily closure below there, about 937, and I'd be looking for this rally to fall apart. But again, easier to follow Bitcoin. Short-term down, probably bounces around there though. Ophir Bentov says, hey Krown, what's up, man? Just started taking your program. Oh, sweet. Well, welcome, and I'll see you in there, I suppose. On the hours volume, so you're looking at the hourly, you mean? Or do you mean the hours or the... Okay, on the hourly volume. Okay, gotcha. All right, let's go to... we just go to this exchange. Actually, let's go to the index for this one. Okay, on the hourly the volume is looking bad as it's below the EMA. Isn't that a case for a suspicion? No. Okay, so... You have to understand, if you're just looking at a fucking volume bar for like one bar, that's very inconclusive with pretty much anything, unless if it's like a higher time frame. And when I say a higher time frame, I mean like a daily, weekly. When you're talking about an hourly, you need the problem with volume analysis that a lot of people get wrong, and you're going to get into this once you get into like the pattern analysis part of it, is that you need to be combining that with the context of current price action. And if you're just looking at one fucking bar right here, that's meaningless. It's nothing. It means absolutely nothing. What you should be looking at is this whole consolidation right here, of which it's not even going to be represented all that well in an hourly. Maybe the CME chart's going to do it better. Yeah, the CME chart will get it better right here, as usual on a Monday. But what do we see right here? We see volume tailing off as Bitcoin essentially puts in a higher low and is doing what? It's telling you that it's consolidating, is what it's telling you. So this is like the problem with volume analysis, that analyzing volume is actually pretty damn important. I don't really talk about it too much on this channel because it's not too important for like my personal strategy. But if you're just gonna like analyze one fucking bar, it's meaningless unless you're looking at something big like this. You know, if we go to a daily and you go back to 19th of May, you see a massive spike in volume, and guess what? Bitcoin gets a phenomenal bounce from that region, and you know, kind of does tell you that this is about the low for price action. Yes, we do come back down and test there a little bit later, but overall, you need to be considering it within the context of like the current price action. So on an hourly, it's just telling you that. It's just telling you what we already know, that it's consolidating right here. We haven't really seen anything, and this is a consolidation. If you were to look at it from the hourly perspective, which this is currently not charted for, but I can do it for you very, very quickly, it'd be between this level right here and this level right here. So basically just below 44 and just above about 42,900 or so. That is consolidation. You'd expect volume to kind of be on the lower side. And that's all that is telling you. So, and that is generally good right there. I mean, you want to see a consolidation as it does kind of come back down and retest that region to start off the week. Okay, cool. Pig Buns has nothing to say. What? Why no message? Donna or Dana. I've actually seen some girls who have their name spelled like that, Dana, but they like the way that you say it is Donna, which is, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to me. I think it's like Dana. Anyways, sorry, I'm completely off base right here. Thoughts on Ted Cruz's tweet just now that amendments not going forward and crypto screwed and possible impact on the crypto market? I'm not equipped to analyze anything like that. I'll let the lawyers and politicians tell you what that means. I don't know. You know, I can tell you from the market's perspective, there's been pretty much no reaction thus far. So it seems to me that the market doesn't really care. We can bring up his tweet. We can see what we got over here. Let me just, I'm not, it might be a surprise to you, but I'm actually not following Ted Cruz. I'm neither Republican nor Democrat. I'm just apolitical. And yeah, we can look at it right here. Let's see. So he retweeted, oh, he's following zero. This is kind of funny. Trend says Ted Cruz warns of dangerous provisions in infrastructure bill. Crypto got screwed tonight. There's a partisan disagreement on spending, so Dems objected to all. Why does it always have to be like, I swear, we have, instead of like religion, we have political parties now. It's fucking awful. It's worse. I'd rather fight over religion than fucking political parties. It's insufferable. Anyways, aside from that, that means no vote on Wyden and Loomis to lessen the damage this bill will do to crypto, and no vote on the Cruz amendment to repeal the new crypto rules together. The result, the Senate's going to inflict billions of dollars of damage on the growing and exciting crypto industry. Hey, it seems like it's pretty supportive. That's cool. There aren't 5 senators who understand much of anything about crypto. I could have guessed that. What the Senate said tonight: let's tax the hell out of something we know nothing about so we can pass a giant bill we haven't read and spend the American people's money on stuff we can't afford. That sounds pretty par for the course. Spending like Congress. It's good. I look, again, I'm not, I'm neither a lawyer nor a politician. I don't know how to interpret these sort of things. I understand that they are very, 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 very complicated. There's a lot to it, and even if this terrible thing presumably goes through, it'll still take about a couple of years to go into effect. And throughout that time, within the next couple of years, when it's kind of like waiting to be I guess green lit, I guess, and like put into effect, all sorts of things can happen in the courts, and and other amendments can be brought about. And I'm sure that something like that probably would happen. But yeah, to answer your question directly, I'm not the best person to ask about that. And I really have to, address my own limitations when talking about something that I don't understand fully. Duty Lombrazzi, man, definitely Italian. Elsa, good morning, sir. I want to mention the interview with Jason yesterday was amazing. Hey, I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. Planning on doing more like these matchup shows. Yeah, man. I've been getting a few people kind of asking around the wayside if if they want to do an interview with me or not. And I've been pretty open to it recently. I've had a lot of free time recently, so why not, man? And he seems like a very reasonable person. So that's kind of like my main thing is I want to, if I'm going to do an interview with someone, I want to make sure that they're like a reasonable person. They're not just like promoting and spouting bullshit. which sometimes I don't do my research on, and I get caught with my pants down. Not good. But yeah, I'm certainly open to it. Just the timing has to match up, and it can be very fucking difficult living in Finland, I can tell you that. But overall, yeah, man, I'm certainly open to it. Faraz Mobin says, oh, Faraz, Virgin tell doggy coin to 0. How dare you, man? How dare you say my doggy coin? How dare you insinuate that my doggy coins, my very precious doggy coins, are going to go to 0? They're going to be meaningless, worthless, sir? Actually looks pretty good here. This actually looks pretty good. Expanding volatility, daily Joule up, daily RSI. Yeah, it's probably going to get rejected right there, but that's first and foremost a bullish consolidation. Anywhere sideways above 22 cents is good. God damn it, man. I want to play that fucking song. How am I going to... We need to... For us, we need to figure out a way, and also Empire, we need to figure out a way. How can we get this song out there to people properly? Because I don't think that this 10 cent is happening anytime soon, unfortunately. We might be waiting a year. Yeah, looking at that weekly, I think we might be waiting a year there. Fuck. Oh well, should we release it, or should we wait for the perfect positioning? Blake Womack says ANKR USD for daily. Sure. USD. Okay, let's see what we got here on Binance. And decent weekly closure right there. Got both the open and closure above the 21. This one's pretty easy, actually. Anywhere above last week's high, which is 10.63 cent. I'll be looking for this one to go on a bit of a tear back up to 12 and a quarter cents, that is. Not dollars. You are not asking about a weekly though. You're asking about a daily. Okay, cool. Fair enough. Daily's fine as long as you're above about 8.5 cent. I have no major issues with it. It is somewhat of a healthy but non-obvious consolidation. That is on a daily closing basis. However, 4 hour does want to test to the downside. However, I would be looking for this one to probably spike back down to about 8.8 cent or so. Was that in the same areas of daily? Yeah, a little bit lower than that on the daily. So perhaps gives another spike down here. I would be looking for it to try for a higher low first and foremost. However, any sort of a daily closure below there, let's just call it 8.5 cents because that's easier to say. I'd be looking for this one to come back down to about just below 7 cents actually, to cough up the majority of the rally. But yeah, short term does want to test downside once again. It looks like. Let's see what the hourly says. Yeah, same thing. I would be giving it a chance to try for a low in this region though, somewhere around like just under 9 cent or so. But yeah, hourly does want to come back down. I'd be looking for any sort of bullish evidence, especially on like a 4 hour time frame right here, which is actually very far away. So perhaps not. See. Again, weekly, man, a lot easier on the weekly. The breakout trade to the upside on the weekly is a lot fucking easier on this one. And I do expect that probably does happen. Again, easier to watch Bitcoin. Whatever Bitcoin does, this one very likely mirrors. And I expect that I still do suspect that Bitcoin probably does test some upside from this area first before perhaps coming back down to 41 within the next week or two. Oh, yeah. Yeah, wish Italian, just Dutch here, sir. Really? That is a very interesting last name for a Dutch person. Anyways, cool shit, man. Very cool shit. Okay, cool. What else I miss over here? There it is. Nate's back again. Another one on my watch list. DMGT on London Stock Exchange. Okay, DMGT. Daily Mail. Oh, geez. This is the news publication. Daily Mail. Actually, pretty good chart. Pretty good chart here. Daily, weekly, both. Weekly's looking for a breakout, man. This is very good. You're looking at a daily, weekly. Okay, so actually perfect time frames right there. Daily, bullish, holds the lows, put in a nice bullish consolidation right here on extremely low volatility. If this starts to expand alongside hidden bullish divergence, which we already have right there, I'd say confirmation on this breakout is anywhere above your 2nd of August highs, which is 1106. I'll be looking for a retest of the highs of this rally and very likely a weekly breakout to occur after that. You are pretty much at your per all-time high. Are you? No. Oh, sorry. No, you're not. Okay, so where would your next target be, structurally speaking? Somewhere around about 1150 to 1175 or so. Monthly, does this look like a macro breakout? It does. I don't think it, it's probably going to have a short-term pullback from there. In fact, you kind of already had that move right here. Wouldn't be surprised to see this thing actually truly go for the breakout above 1200 long-term, but I don't know how long-term you are on that one. Moon phases, please, sir. We already looked at it. We already looked at it right here. We have a bare moon. We have a bare moon, sir. So watch out your corns. How do I say this name? Drawidified. Drawidified. Drawdified. Hello, sir. Hello, Elsa and sir. I am sir. You are drawdified. I must say, I love the show. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Your hair is looking particularly non-bi. Oh my god, that is probably the best comment about my hair I think I've ever seen ever. Your hair is looking particularly non-binary today. Thank you, sir. I very much appreciate that. I'm trying to be more inclusive within the worlds of all the different genders of which we now have 50 plus, I believe. Can you respect it? Yes. Can you pretty please look at? Oh, Monero. Yeah, let's look at Monero. You know what's interesting about Monero? I heard that Fluffy Pony's like he's being an investigator or something, or the creator of Monero apparently. Which, you know, when I came into cryptocurrency land in 2016, 2017, I was always kind of taught by the guy who kind of led me in there that Monero was like one of the more legitimate ones. And to be fair, I mean, it has definitely one of the better charts long term. You know, this one obviously makes new all-time highs above its prior cycle highs, which is a good sign. Anyways, weekly hidden bullish divergence back above the exponential, back above the 21. Good. That would have a technical target somewhere around 300, I suppose, 300 to 320 over the next month. I figure. However, must maintain 240 to the downside. Short-term timeframes. Are we going to test some downside? That's a real question. Not really getting too much from the 4 hour right here. I don't know if you asked for that one. No, you did not. You're actually on very high term time frames, so that makes this a lot more easy. Could come back down to about 245 to 250. That's not problematic. The problem would be below about 239 to 240 on a daily closure. Until that happens, I mean, you know, looking at the daily right here, daily jewels, a bit of a continuation. It's pretty aggressive right there. To be fair, I don't think that signal has too much more onto it, but daily RSI looking more or less fine. I'd expect a bit of a sideways consolidation right here. And then either a break, just a trade above your 6th of August high. Then I look for the weekly move to play out somewhere around about 300, maybe even as much as 320, 325 region. Looking pretty damn good right there. All right, cool. I think we are at the end of this stream. Holy shit, it's just above 2 hours now. My lord, man. Anyways, just kind of wrapping up my thoughts on Bitcoin. You know, looking at this in terms of range is actually a lot easier, in my opinion. I know that everyone wants, like, you know, it's going to go here, it's going to go there. I do think that short-term upside is probably a little bit more likely than downside after a bit of a short-term sideways consolidation. Could that come alongside another test back down just around $43,000 even for Bitcoin? Perhaps yes, but I'll be using this as a bit of a continuation and breakage point for short-term ranges, meaning that if Bitcoin does start to close on, you know, just below about 42,750 on CME specifically, I would be looking for Bitcoin to come back down and test $41,000 first before trying some more upside. But until that happens, I generally am looking for sideways and up right here, continuation with a closure above 44.1 on CME, and I would be looking at a first target just above $45,000 at about 43. What is this? 43.3, and then potentially give some spikes up. If I had to guess, somewhere around 46.5 sometime, you know, this week, I suppose. But I keep a keen on CME specifically. Let's go check out the momentum charts once again, just because of which. Let's go over here to the lower term time frames, see what we need to hold up above right now. 4 hour needs to hold above 43,650 in order to keep with the upside momentum short term. 3 hour is going to show 44,150, so it's actually turning down right now. Bi hourly is going to be showing 44.1, and hourly is going to be showing 43.9 or so. So a little bit of sideways is good. However, if we do start to fail below those levels, momentum will turn down, and then I would be looking for that test down somewhere around $41,000 first. I don't think that's what's happening first. I do think that Bitcoin very likely tests the upside first after a bit of a short-term sideways. So with that said, I want to wish you the best and the happiest. Beware of the bear moon. But for right now, enjoy. Anyways, take care, enjoy the outro tunes, and until next time.
Write it, code it, name it, tweet it, mine it, stack it, live it, dream it, post it, scan it, charge it, send it, do it, and receive it. Trade it, buy it, sell it, store it, run it, list it, first rename it. Crypto logic. Pump it, hack it, lose it, dump it, sell it, ditch it, fix or pitch it, copy, paste it, nudge it, test it, build it, try it, bend it, fork it, hype it, pump it, dump it, rinse, repeat, but quick relocate.